Welcome back, everyone, to the Pro Competition's inaugural event.
Oh, and the zoning is so impressive. Letting Javier take his turn.
He puts himself into the corner, Javier. He is such a heavy man.
Watch the grab. Watch the grab.
Again! And again! Awful!
He presses
The grab.
Tries to send the bowling ball, gets nothing for it. Song's execution is there. It hits him out of it. Oh no, Serena, the comeback.
Is he dead?
Blocks the low. Bets his life on the 50-50. And it will be Kanamani cashing out.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Oceania Regional Finals here for the Mortal Kombat Pro Competition. One person is going to be qualifying for Final Kombat later this year. We have the Aussies, we got the Kiwis, we got me, Ultra David, and with me is Saki Sakura. How's it going?
It is going. I'm so happy to be commenting with you this tonight, actually, Ultra David. It is going to be incredible matches here happening tonight. On top of all of that, like you mentioned, the stakes are pretty high. The winner of this finals will be able to head to Final Kombat for this year's Pro Competition Tour.
Yeah, we got a few different ways to qualify for Final Kombat. This is one of the major ways. We have 10 online regions. One person makes it through each of them. This is the chance. If you're in Oceania, if you're in Australia or New Zealand or Papua New Guinea, this is your chance to do it. You also can get through on the global leaderboard. You also can get through on last chance qualifiers. So, you know, it's not the only chance, but if you're gonna do it, tonight's the night that you wanna do it. Lock it up, be done with it.
Absolutely. And let's take a look at this bracket, because with those regional qualifiers, not only was it important to make it to that top 4 sweet spot, but it was also a great chance to get some best seeding practices happening here for the finals. So we have up first on our winner side, AK Soul's Clue versus Paxton Pax Z. And in the next match, Fidget Stimmer versus Kia D Law. And then David, go ahead and take down our last 2 winners round 1 matches.
Yeah, we got Bruno coming up after that versus Clockwork, and then FGC Boy versus Veil. There's a lot to say about all of these players, but let me just say this. We do have some character loyalists in here. Got a couple of those. But we also have players who played so many different characters that in qualifying for this, they had literally 16 total different teams. So, you know, I can tell you when a match comes up, like, here's who I saw them play. Here's who I heard that they play. But I am not gonna know who they're gonna lock into in some of these cases until like we actually see it happen. We're gonna be starting out with Soul's Clue versus Pax on Pax, as you were saying, and these are a couple of the guys who, I don't know what we're gonna see. Soul's Clue qualified for Final Kombat last time from this region, right? He won the qualifier in this region over Waz, and this time made it through third place in his in the first qualifier, so didn't have to play in the second. And then on the other side, for his opponent Pax on Pax, got 9th in the first one. He needed to be top 4, as you mentioned. And then in the second one, he did do that, 3rd place. And in doing that, he used Melina and Sector and Ashura and Lime and Soul's Clue, qualified for combat last year with Sindel Cyrax. It's like what I knew him for. And then he also played Natara Tremor. And they also actually played Cyrax Frost, which is kind of funky as well. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we get.
I'm smiling through all of those picks and mentions because there's a couple of reasons, right? We've talked a little bit about how the meta has definitely progressively changed, especially with the discovery of Tremor being really, really good as a partner. So I loved hearing that we're starting to see more Tremor in pairings like Natara. I did notice as well that Paxton Paxi was using Movado. That's another cameo that is probably one of the most picked cameos right now, just because of so many good pickups, right? Even off of pokes that tend to be leading into a hard knockdown, Movado can just pick that up and you're looking at easily 40 plus damage right there.
Yeah, there's like, you're totally right to say that these are 2 of the most popular, and I think it makes sense because they do kind of different things. Tremor's an all-over kind of guy. He can do kind of whatever, but the way that he's most often used is for safety. You can try something out. There's Tremor to the rescue, right? Different
Absolutely.
from Movado. It is instead, it's if you get the hit it's big damage, it's Oki, it's whatever you want. So kind of different philosophies in these two that are among the most commonly picked. Yeah, man, I've become a Tremor boy. He's a sick character.
He really is. He really is. And I love that we're starting to see him used more in pairings. Originally, it was more with Reiko because you obviously get that really nice mix and really good damage from Reiko and Tremor. But now we're just seeing opportunities where we're seeing the uppercut from Tremor used, like you mentioned, in a more safety precaution, like this is to keep my move safe, but also again you're getting so much value. We've seen Sindel Tremor, again Natara Tremor probably is one of my favorites because of course we love Natara in this house, but also simply because of the fact that like that's a character that also has a tough time meshing with other cameos. So all in all, gonna be really exciting. I want to also highlight here another character that is very much the center of conversation, and that is Cyrax. And you mentioned it, Frost. That is also a really, really good team that just allows you to not necessarily play poker face right there with Cyrax and Serena does, but still allows you to hit confirm into the goo and bomb setups.
The goo. I'm gonna call it the goo from now on. I like that. Yeah, well, as far as packs on packs goes, like he got third, like I said, but if you watched how that tournament went in the qualifier, he was in winners finals and up 2-1, and then ended up losing it. And the way that he lost it was he called Movado with no health left, and also the opponent had almost no health left. So it was a double KO, which happens in that case, but the opponent already had a round, so he lost. And then the other one that he lost, it was also 3-2. So these are two really, really close matches. You look at the position that he's in third, and I think you could have missed a little bit of the storyline in terms of how well he did in that qualifying event. It was very close to being in grand finals.
Most definitely, and I think that that's going to be something that we want to keep in mind here for our players all throughout the bracket. It's all about making sure that you play as clean as possible and your game plan is as solid as possible. Don't allow opportunities. Like, yes, we love the fact that Movado can give you great Oki thanks to that tether pull, but that doesn't mean that that should be something that you should be using when you are not keeping track of your health. You gotta make sure that all of your resources, you're taking note of everything from breakers to health points. It's all on the line here tonight. And if you're someone that tends to rely on these online events, which shout outs to all of the tournament organizers helping with organizing this tournament as well as production too, you want to make sure that you give it all your best, because this is your moment right now. This is the opportunity to get to Final Kombat and play with the best of the best Mortal Kombatants.
And it's a super fun top 8 in another sense, which is that there are 2 players from New Zealand in here. Pax on Pax being one of them, Boys the other one. We'll talk about it later on. But that's great. You know, oftentimes when I've looked in on the Oceania region in MK and in other fighting games too, Australia is the one showing up. You know, it makes sense. Got a lot of people there, comparatively speaking. They got some big scenes, they got some big cities. I get it. But it's awesome to see that there is also this really strong contingent in New Zealand for this game. And so from the Wellington area, we have Pax on Pax, and then Soul's Clue. In Victoria, a lot of the scene that we have here is from New South Wales. We even have somebody from Tasmania, which is pretty cool. So we got a few different regions in Australia represented too. But yeah, that aspect is always something super fun to watch in regions that contain multiple different countries, right? The sort of country rivalry is always a blast.
Most definitely. And of course, you know, there's a couple of players that are very familiar. Soul's Clue, Clockwork also being players that are very much familiar in this region. But it's just great to see some fresh new blood really showing off their talents in these types of tournaments, right? New Zealand and Oceania region just in general, one of those regions that we don't get to see as often as we would like. And again, pro competition just gives you the opportunity to do so. So it's going to be super exciting as we are waiting for our next match of Soul's Clue versus Pax and Pax Z. I do want to ask you, David, just be kind of like keeping the numbers, what you've seen from the previous VODs, and just kind of some of the player knowledge that you were able to gather. Who do you feel like could take this first game?
The first one here, yeah, I mean, I think you got to be looking at Soul's Clue. You know, they both ended up at third, but in that first one, which is the one that Soul's Glue got third in. Everybody was playing in that. Almost everybody was playing in that. And he got third. And then, you know, the way that it worked was then those top 4 players get removed from the next one. And then that's when Pax on Pax got third. Again, really strong player, it seemed to me. I really liked a lot of what we saw. But if I had to guess, yeah, I think I'm looking at Soul's Glue, right? Previous qualifier at Final Kombat, we saw him there last time. He didn't get the result that he wanted, you know? But still, making it into Final Kombat's huge, and he definitely showed up big time with the super tricky Sindel Cyrax stuff. Really, you know me, I like strong stuff. I like zany stuff in fighting games. Like, give me the like wild and funky options. And he definitely did that with Sindel and Cyrax. And that was at a time too when not many people were using Cyrax anymore. It was kind of like after the initial stuff. Oh, speaking of Cyrax, it's on point Cyrax, so we'll see what the teammate is. But then it's Lee Mei on the other side. As I said, this was one of the characters that I saw him play. Maybe Lee Mei Mavado. We'll see.
Okay. I'm excited to see what will transpire here as we go in. We're skipping intros. We're hopping right in. We actually have the Lee Mei Kung Lao, and already Soul's Glue summoning the Frost Wall to set up the bombs. And now it's just pressure. The grab, you can't tech that in that moment, and you're just getting bombs galore right now. As all of this damage is just adding up, meter drainage on top of that as well. It is not looking good too. Well, 4 packs in that
Back one. Oh no, a drop. Big chance. Pax on Pax gets a lot of damage. Lining up here for Oki. Okay, yeah, I totally understand this. Getting out of there. Still Cyrax's turn. No. We got corner pressure. We got plus frames. A character who can get plus frames. Oh my god, covers both sides. What a block, by the way.
Yo! That is gonna be the round as Soul's Glue takes the first one in a very dominant fashion, but Paxton Paxi was definitely taking advantage of some of the mistakes there as Kung Lao takes the goo and instead blocks the frost here, and that is gonna be a counter hit. Big pickup here, but the breaker stops the damage.
A little cautious there. Okay, back one yet again. Direct into the Cyrax. Big question is, what's the setup? We haven't seen super strong setups yet. We've seen a couple of knockdowns with the bombs, but haven't led to big stuff quite yet. Chance on hit confirm.
With the lanterns, that's going to be really nice damage as we're going to go ahead and go for the mid. The grab gets stuck, and that's going to be Frost again to back up. The freeze allows the setup for the bombs, and we're going to go ahead and be able to continue on with the pressure thanks to the goo.
Man, late goo. Okay, into the back one. You're right, you can't escape those situations where the back one comes out. You can still tech technically and then get hit, which makes the damage reduction way better. You take like half damage, but still tough to see that at the time.
It's also very dependent on the timing. Oh, that's huge! That's actually took the assist, but the breaker just coming in
Chip is huge.
right in time.
Can you avoid the chip? Oh, just jumped over it to jump in that moment, and it was correct. Soul's Glue, what a game one. Extremely close on the end there. This is a character in Lee Mei who has the ability to cover the sky really well. You put a lantern up there, right? You go up there with the overhead from the sky. She's got these great options. Air fireball. She's got a bunch of different stuff that she could have done, and it was just the right read to have jumped in that exact moment. Like, what can you say?
Yeah, that was. I loved how you were like, there's chip, because technically, if you do amp with Lee Mei's fireball, that becomes a mid. So it was still very much a risk there, but because of just that well-timed jump, Soul's Glue really went through. We are seeing a change from the character as well as we hop onto Katana. I believe this might be Katana Jax potentially.
Katana Sonya, actually, from Pax on Pax. This isn't even a character that I saw, so that 16 that I mentioned before, we're looking at 17 now.
Character variety, but here again, the freeze. I feel like that's what makes this entire pairing so well. Plus this Frost Wall, kind of also putting back on the full range, but we're still here chucking out the bombs and the goo setups to catch something.
Yeah, although that goo is slow to come out, right? It's not a super fast projectile. It just, the danger of it is so strong. It's hard to risk trying to throw a projectile against it.
One checks, and there's the throw. But breaker stops the freeze from happening.
Okay, cute little situation. Tetris onto the ground. Here it is. Trying to move away from the bomb. Not quite there.
Ooh, the command throw whiffs. This is a big pickup here as Paxton Paxi is going to be able to get the combo and be able to get the overhead as well. Should be able to kill here and does so, as now we're seeing Paxton Paxi come up with this Katana Sonya team.
Fight.
Again, yeah, it's just this is a character with so many projectiles. Got Sonya as well, but who wants to take the risk versus the goo? Slide again. That was actually the first hit that Soulsku got in the first round. Going right from the overhead into the low. It's tricky little business. Yo, let's go.
I kind of like the read there from Paxton Paxi. Was just not too sure, or rather got trip guarded, better said here. So we are getting caught in this corner, trying to challenge in some form. And get the overhead out again. Close for pressure, but flawless block. There's the command throw into the freeze.
Sets it up right away. It's such a cute little thing to watch. By the way, look at the meter building in this. So many specials going on in Cyrax.
Also, great choice to go ahead and go for the Cyrax net in that sense. But okay, we're just teleporting in and out here. But we still got that back throw to back us up.
Alright, Pax. You can sense he really wants to get this corner. He really wants to get the pressure. That's the point of the Sonya being charged up there. But he doesn't want to take the big risk all the way up close. Don't blame him. Time running out now. 14-13. Soulsku with a huge life. Oh, okay.
Ooh. This is huge.
Okay. He's gonna need something else. I don't think this is gonna be enough.
This might not be enough. There is still a significant amount of health here that Paxton Pax's gonna have to be able to make a read off after this fatal blow goes and finishes. Because it's still a good chunk. 5 seconds on the clock. You're gonna need to do something. Ooh, and right there, your fatal blow wasted with the armor wake up from Soulsku.
Dude, with 3 on the clock to do the armor is so gutsy. I love to see it. Not as many risks there against Goo. Oh no, watch out! That was super close.
Slight challenges here, not much of pickups, but this is one pickup here that is going to be crucial. Our knockdown backing up again though to get the Sonya mid-charge. It's just a matter of time.
Oh no, not quite. That was the attempt. Here's that extra damage now. Pax on Pax. Wakes up with forward dash back one. Genius play.
Ooh, I love that. Did you see that? That was charging up the Sonya because we were expecting the overhead, and Paxton Paxi said, I conditioned you. Hold on. You're going to have to hold this. Get brutaled.
Yeah, okay, so that switch over to Katana worked out. Interesting style of how that match went. You know, when I see Sonya, especially with Sonya, I'm thinking like this is a very projectile heavy choice. But the choice more was to charge up Sonya and then dash forward. Because again, taking the risk against something like Goo is just, it's difficult even though you have a character who does have good projectiles. That said, is it back to it? Okay, Cyrax again, Cyrax Frost again. The character matchup, I think makes sense.
You would have stopped
I don't think that's the issue here.
I'd like to believe.
Yeah, I think this here is Soulsku trying to adapt to the Katana. I feel like what happened there more than anything was that Paxton Paxi took advantage of some of these hit confirms, like we're seeing here again. And check it out, we got the overhead kicks from Sonya to get that extra damage. Now that is going to be a lot of cameo bar used, but look at this damage and just putting Paxton Paxi in such a good position again.
Got her own bombs. What do you think about this, huh? That was sick. I really like the addition of Sonya here for the extra mix-up that Katana doesn't otherwise have.
Very nice. Also, too, I think here with Katana, those projectiles being a little bit faster can also contest and be the winner of these projectile wars that we've been seeing here. And again, corner coming through, just backing up a little bit to find some spacing and throw out Sonya charge, but there's the freeze, and that's a jump in that's going to be picked up with Goo, and bomb setups galore. Won't be able to break here in this opportunity. Has to be careful here. There's the meter drainage from the net.
Yeah, I had to expect that was the one chance to break. Nice little movement. Pax on Pax not quite catching it. Much more comfortable at throwing. Okay, excellent time to not throw the projectile right there. Woo. That Goo went sailing by.
I do like some of these flawless blocks. There's a big pickup thanks to the frost wall, and quite a bit of a distance when you kind of think about it too, and how the position there was. No punish, down one check into the back throw. As Pax and Paxies gotta make something happen here. 18 seconds on the clock, and still trying to chip away Soul's Clue's health.
Yeah, any little bit here could be enough. Even Sonya with overhead, maybe. Is this enough? 140? Is that enough? It is, it's life lead. Yeah, love the block on the low. Surviving.
Nice.
Beautiful. That was that slide into Frost Wall that has opened up Pax 3 different times from round 1 to each game that we've seen so far. So awesome job to expect it in that situation when Soul's Clue really needed the hit. That was super, super good read.
Very, very good reads. I love the patience and adaptability that Paxton has been really showing in this match. You mentioned it earlier, actually, David. As we were seeing the timing of the projectiles getting thrown from Paxton's side, it was very much not a, I'm just kind of autopiling right now to get the projectile out. Instead, we're actually trying to react as fast as possible, and we got Natara.
You're happy.
Here.
Yeah.
I'm very happy.
No, that's
Super
cool.
happy,
She's a sick
actually.
character. Yeah. Yeah, I really like this team. Tremor? Yeah, good.
Yep.
Yeah, very tricky.
Ooh. Beautiful dash down. That's going to be big punish here. And already trying to set up some momentum. Blood spit, and there's Tremor to go ahead and get the launcher. This is going to be some good damage. About 35%, or 32% better said, actually, here with no meter. Oh, that's Cameo too!
Yeah, you can see the life bar bug up there when Cameo and point character get hit at the same time. Yeah, I really, really like the movement that we've seen so far again in there right away. With Tremor for the safety. Aftershock mode, well, there it is, already used up.
Down 3 checks here. I do like the catch on the back. Yep, there's that chase. And now we're denying air coverage here, which is really good for Paxton. Gonna have to be able to get a launcher somehow, though, to get some damage going. 1 check.
Aftershock, Tremor ready to go. Pax trying to continue this turn as much as possible.
Ooh.
Sonya, that was sick.
And that actually saved Pax right there, by the way, because that would have been really ugly in terms of damage from the trade.
Beautiful. That is the evasion you need right there if you're Pax on Pax. This is already match point. By the way, Soul's Blue is the #1 overall seed. Pax on Pax is the #8 overall seed. And he is threatening to move forward here in round 1 right away.
That's a huge pickup. Gorgeous route right there to be able to pick up what is essentially a very tough pickup. The overhead of the boulder breaker used here from Paxton. Ooh, it is getting scary right now as these dashes have been going back and forth.
Let's go. Oh, dude. Blocking it out. That's what I'm talking about. This defense. That was
Oh my gosh.
And the tech, come on. That was amazing defense.
Oh, now we are trying to take back a turn, getting a little bit antsy, and that is going to cost Pax and Pax here 40 one touch more, and it can be over here as we head to the game 5 if that happens. There goes the string, keeping it safe with the dive kick, not getting the pickup needed.
He just wants to get chipped. Needs a little bit more. Tremor's back. Okay. You can't get. Oh, whew, boy. You can really get the sense that he was looking for that last bit of chip. They're very, very focused on it. Sometimes people can get over-focused, but he got the green vest on and it worked out.
Very good stuff there from Souls Clues as we go into the first game 5 here for the Oceania regionals, or finals.
Love to see that even from the very start here, it's super, super close. Again, as I was talking about the 2 qualifying events, there were lots of 2-3, 3-2 matches throughout both of those. There's some real talent in this region, and what's cool to see is that, although, as always, some players are going to end up on top, there's talent everywhere here. It's super fun. So we have the same. Anything change?
Nope, and I actually kind of agree with not moving to any other character here. One, because this is game 5, you're playing phenomenal with the katana, right? But also, two, because technically speaking, this matchup is still in favor for katana. It's just that Tremor is still that strong pairing here, but as you can see, the way to keep that corner pressure right now and just being able to punish off of those recovered ground air movements as well is allowing Pax and Paxi to establish dominance on that first round already.
Yeah, mission accomplished. Match point now.
Oh,
there it is. That
special!
sky control, yes.
Beautiful.
Tough for Meganito, not easy to fly around this stuff. Another big chance here for Pax. No, Pax off, set up.
Yo, bomb it out!
That was sick.
That's like
super
the
prepared.
slowest move, and
I know, right?
still
Yeah.
did it, and just gorgeous right there. This
Yo.
is actually game right here for Pax and Paxi, who got those Sonya bicycle kicks plus the Bruno right afterwards to clean up in a very quick fashion off a 2-round win for Pax and Paxi, taking out the first seed, already putting them in the losers bracket.
Important to point out, as you just said, that this is now to go into the losers bracket. So typically when we see a top 8 like this, there's already half of the players in the loser side. It's not the case here. Everybody's starting out on the winner's side. But yeah, into the losers just like that for Soul's Clue, the qualifier from last year from this region. Not out of it, but it's going to be a long road.
100%.
Taking a look back here, Cyrax Frost. Yeah, this excellent jump timed perfectly to get over that stuff. Great read on that.
This switch to katana, though, so clean. This bomb setup was just perfect as well. Being able to not only capture Frost, but again, this establishment of being able to switch to this character and play very well. Patience as well. This Natara Tremor pick, again, like you mentioned, putting on the green armor, but Pax and Paxi, the adaptability was entirely there. And we got to see a little bit of the classic Sonya kicks too, to be able to enter some nostalgia as we enjoyed very much a strong dominant katana.
That was really cool. Yeah, and again, that wasn't even one of the characters that I saw them play before. So shout outs to how many different characters Pax and Pax has on deck. That's awesome. We are going to be moving now to the Bruno versus Clockwork match. So if you'd like to follow along, everything's going on start.gg. You can search for Oceanic Regional Finals, and you can follow along for yourself if you'd like to. Off stream, Kia D-Law sent Fidget Stimmer down to the loser's side, and FGC Boy sent Veil down to the loser's side. So they will both move on. Boy and Kia will move on, and Bruno and Clockwork are now to be decided here on winner's side. Bruno won the first event, looked really good in doing so. Again, he got sent to loser side in that grand finals reset, and then which was 3-2, super close, but then 3-1 win that he had after that. Beat a lot of the best players in the region on his way to doing that. He took out Pax on Pax, and he took out Waz, and he took out Soul's Clue, and then he took out Boy. So that's like a pretty long list of the best players in the region. Shout out to him for doing so. Clockwork made it through on the second one, getting 4th place there. But both of the losses that he had, again, very close. 2-3 to Fidget Stimmer, 2-3 to Vale. So just it continues to be the case that like this is a close region, right? There's a lot of skill here, and Clockwork as well. Outside of this, in their local tournament series, Oz Kombat Cup, he is the champion, the most recent reigning champion. So it's a little sign for you of how strong he is. He's been playing since 2021. He got 5th in this thing last year, if you're curious. And he also wanted us to know that he only entered because, and I quote, I had nothing better to do and wanted to gatekeep. Ended up qualifying by accident, lol. So I'm just here to spam and circumflex on everyone. BGs only. In case you were wondering who to root for.
That it's so funny that you mentioned that because I feel like another international player that does that often is a Foxy Grandpa. So it's nice to see that tradition is still very much around in all the different regions. And Clockwork actually being a player that I feel like from this particular region, I hear quite often and how they play. And it's very much like, I'm just here. I exist and I'm just letting you know that you got to get through me to get to where you want to go and level up as a player. So how are you gonna do it? Better figure it out, or you're going 0-2 and going on home. That's how it is here.
Clockwork also pointed out, quote, I also wear socks while I play in tournaments, which is weird. I don't know. Maybe is that weird? I usually wear socks when I'm in tournament. I guess I usually wear shoes with socks. I don't know. Maybe that's weird. It's a different culture, maybe. I don't know. Real sock wearer down there, Clockwork. For Bruno, it was only Rain Janet on his way through. He's one of only 2 players here, or just a few players here who I only saw use 1 character. But on Clockwork's side, we saw both Ermac and Sector in qualifying.
Very, very cool to hear Rain and Janet. That's actually another character and cameo team that is so well meshed together. Ever since Janet came out, that was one of the first characters that people were able to really enjoy. And I feel like this is, you were mentioning earlier, one of the players that is a character loyalist, and I think that's what we will be seeing here today. I also love that Clockwork is definitely sporting the Sector, because a lot of people I felt gave up on Sector, but with some of the cameos being buffed in their respective patches and many more interesting things happening as people continue to discover tech here in this game, we're hopping right back into it as we're going to see projectiles thrown against the Rain Mage Rain.
Okay. Calling out the bubble right away. Setting it up instantly. Okay. Didn't see a button, nothing came. I really like Bruno's mix-ups up close when we went to qualifying that. Looked really strong with that stuff. This is definitely a punish though.
Very well timed punish. That is going to be breaker, so that's going to stop some of that damage. You got a water portal out and the rain bubble up. There's the overhead from Sonya, but doesn't get the confirm. But we do get this pickup after the slight hesitation from pressing. Now it's just going into projectiles, keeping you away. You're going to have to deal with this rain into the slide.
Really?
Live.
Round 4-3.
Really good save control so far. Really good. Backing off. Okay. The 80 frame overhead working out.
It's super slow enough that you're still gonna get hit by it. That's the wild
Like
thing about
it is
that
slower
overhead.
than many, but the thing is that she lifts her hand up right like frame 1. Like it's you got 25 full frames of her being there. But anyway, it works out even against very strong players, as you can see. Setting it up again.
Ooh, I like that pickup too. Very tricky pickups off of that string, as it is like kind of like a double low. Still was able to get a slight second hit despite most of the route whipping.
Escape. Clockwork in. Super patient roll. Wow, Bruno trying to make something happen there. And it just was not working out. Wow, total control by Clockwork. Zoning was there, occasionally up close for mix-ups up close. Mostly about stage control and killing it in doing so.
Yeah, usually with rain, your option is set up rain bubble, go ahead and get the rain orb down, and then you get back your control once again. And if any pickups, you bring out Janet. But we just saw complete control there from Clockwork. I also really love the hit confirms, especially with that Sonya ring. We saw twice with the slide, helping out in that situation, getting optimal damage where you can maintain that space control. We're switching to Natara here. I'm not sure. I think you and me were both caught by surprise. This is a great night for me.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Oh, who's commentating? Okay, gotcha. All right, Sonya commentating as well. We have extra mix-ups. The charged fireball for the approach. Air dive kick with her, lots of different stuff.
There's that leap too, trying to avoid the projectiles. Now, that's one thing here too that Sector's fully equipped for, right? We have those Sector missiles, we have the low missile, we also have the air to also cover, and Bruno's been the one that's been taking the brunt of it. Breaker here to stop the jump in as well. That's gonna be a block here with a back four, gonna get the sweep ball.
Ooh, yes.
This should
I think we're right.
Yes. Yep. That route's so nice, 41%, so good, David. It just feels great to be able to dive kick and get that 41%.
It's a game about doing strong stuff.
Very nice dive kick. No pick up the down two though.
You gotta know. Great awareness by Clockwork, the miss. And Bruno now, he takes advantage. Raiding back and forth here. Turn. Oh, looking for her to go back into the sky 4-4-5 whip.
Love this movement right here from Bruno. We are seeing the ability to go into those leaps, instant going into the dash on the bottom, and again, you are getting 49% off of that as Bruno ties it up against Clockwork 1-1.
That's really good stick-to-itiveness too. In that round one, there was a period when Clockwork was just really in control. Was doing a great job zoning out. Projectiles were working out consistently, right? Able to keep a good spot on screen. Had built enough meters so that once Bruno got in, he had breaker, right? He was playing it to a T. And nevertheless, you know, Natara gets in twice, and that could be it. That really could be it. And that was Bruno doing exactly what he needed to do. Continuing to move forward, not giving up just because he get hit by a rocket. Whatever. You got to keep moving. And he did. And he's on, by the way, 900 health. This is not. We saw the tremor before, which bumps it up to 1,000, but this is default health.
Hourglass.
Yep, Sonya being one of the cameos that doesn't necessarily give you a lot of health to work with either. Actually, no health, better said. But I do want to say that this is where the Natara players are probably the most scary. We're used to playing this game with only a little bit of health. So we're risking it all for the biscuits.
I'll be alright.
Great blocks. Exactly what you need. A little bit of sick pick up, but not
Stagger is going right now. Yep, there's that throw. Great stagger to then go into a back throw from Sector's side.
Again, you see how Bruno is just relentless about the approach. He's woken up with his jump dive kick multiple times just to make sure that he's moving forward. He doesn't want to be caught in the same spot. Yeah, again, jump forward on the again, man, this moving for navigation, and he finds the hit.
Ooh,
Yeah,
great
so,
call out there from Clockwork.
Okay.
Yeah. Ooh, slight hits, and that was, and I'm not sure if it was the actual like missiles on the ground or if it was an actual missile that hit Bruno there. Regardless, Clockwork was able to at least secure the first round in that very intense close-up.
Big damage. Full Sonya ready to go. Did he get there? No, not quite. There it is. We haven't seen it yet.
That up block is huge here. That's actually a reset. So Clock not blocking on the wake up.
Sick. Yeah. I guess again we have seen a lot of wake up forward. kill. Mix up either way will kill. Bad situation to be for Clockwork. He's got the tools to keep her out, we know that.
Most definitely, and I think here we just need to be a little more cautious and definitely call out some of these jump forwards like we did right now. So again, being able to establish pressures up close is crucial to keep the control. There's the leap though on some of these trades as Bruno's trying to find once again an opportunity to catch Clockwork off guard, and there it was. It's already a breaker off of Clockwork. Ooh.
Okay, into Sonya for the full confirm. Beautiful. Clockwork not giving up on the approach right here. Harassing. Still there. Oh, the overhead works out.
Super cheeky to go for the full punishing string and then using Sonya's overhead to cancel. But no, doesn't get the confirm.
The sick read too. Is this
No
gonna
way.
work?
Oh my god, it broke the armor. Better said it was not enough health. It went through the armor as, hey, sometimes you just have to risk it for the biscuit. As we said, Natara players were used to playing at this health. You just kind of have to say, what it is. Let's take that last chance and see what happens. But what a great patience there. Great adaptability from Clockwork to just say, okay, I understand you're waking up buttons a lot. You're waking up jump forward. You're waking up even dive kick into like from leap. We're done with that. I'm going to do the same thing because Sector has a little bit of ways to also get up onto the ground thanks to some of her combos or strings.
Sector.
Definitely, yeah.
Sonya.
Yeah, I mean, waking up with or blocking and then just doing the up rocket, right? Expecting more air approach. It's definitely adaptation as this goes on. I'm sure this is not the first time these guys have played, but there is nevertheless in-set adaptation going on.
Round one.
Always cool to see.
Oh, that's cancel into the downwards dash is so nice. That's leaving you super plus, by the way, when you see a Natara player do that. So sometimes you just kind of have to take the throw and you reset yourself right here. And oh no, confirm though from Bruno.
Full scrambling. Yeah, that's plus. There it is, that big forward pull into the sky. Setup. Okay, grab, extra damage of course. There's that relentless wake-up jump. Man will not sit.
That was actually a really nice confirm, even though we kind of dropped it towards the end. Great answer, like you mentioned before, using Sector's air special, air cancel, anti-air special, better said, to be able to call it out. And already Clockwork on a potential set point to try to take it home and stay in the winner's side.
Bruno, the number 2 seed. Okay, we already have the number 1 seed go down the loser's side. Ooh, that works. Let's start here in this one. Okay, again! Coming up with the knee. Again with the setup. You will not sit still, Bruno! Into the sky! Into the sky! There's rockets there!
We also took out Sonya, but this is a big pickup here for Bruno. We all know that this can lead into, at minimum, 42% as we go into it. We have the blood to drain it to actually secure. Bruno's still alive, trying to get it to a game 5.
Beautiful whip punish. Okay, Bruno. I'll get back in now. And attack, even though he keeps moving forward. Oh no, big whip! There it is. Really love this anti-air awareness. A little software we can play. Again! There's rockets up there!
Throw here from Bruno.
The full
not
string now
able.
to get away.
Yep, not just able to catch something here. Sweet.
Straight grounded all of a sudden. Okay, suddenly though. Oh boy, that would have been a sick 3-hit combo.
We got
relentless!
it!
Relentless! Plenty of bar to make it happen. Just needs one hit.
Oh, we're going in fatal.
All
No,
the way
it
to-
missed! Yes! You're in the corner. It's too much of a lengthy route. You would have had to reset off of that route, and how unfortunate for Bruno as Clockwork brutalities and is able to take it 3-1.
Man, that's a bummer of a way to go down right there. A sick combo. Could have just been Oki, right? I mean, in any case, he would have needed another hit. That wasn't going to kill. Like, there needed to have been another mix-up, even still. In any case, unfortunate there for Bruno that it didn't work out. But I'd rather highlight how well Clockwork played. Like, that was amazing. Super well played by Clockwork in that set. The adaptations, again, in set were great. This was very much in control the whole time.
Oh, for sure.
And then even when it was Natara that he was playing against, Game 1 worked out well for Bruno, but then after that, much better Clockwork. Forward fours to try to meet her in the sky, the crouching up rockets to meet her in the sky. Really, really well done on air zoning from far. Was brave up close. We just saw an example of it there. So yeah, I loved what we saw from Clockwork.
Absolutely.
Real sock wearing stuff.
it helped with the focus, right?
Oh,
in
for
this
sure.
situation. This was probably the most heartbreaking thing here for
big
both
bummer.
me and of course for Bruno. It's again that route. Natara being one of the characters that has a fatal blow that is very much reliant on how your placement in the route goes. It's very important. So here we got the bracket to take a look at as we go ahead and look into winner semifinals, as Pax and Paxi will be facing against Kia D Law, and of course Clockwork versus FGC Boy. And then down below on the loser side, David, go ahead and tell us what's happening in the loser side for us.
Yeah, it's not something that I thought was going to happen. Again, we have a great scene here with lots of strong players, but nevertheless, number 1 and number 2 seeds down here now. We have Soul's Clue, qualifier last year, 2 final combat from this region, versus Fidget Stimmer, another really strong player who we haven't had a chance to talk about yet, formerly called Nikki Mabab. Used 4 different teams before in the qualifiers, says everyone's a threat, only 17 years old, by the way. And then Bruno on the other side against Vale, who we haven't had a chance yet to talk about either. Player of Noob and Ermac, Sub even. Had a super great path to get second place in the second qualifier. Beat, again, a lot of the best players in that tournament to do so. Thinks his path will be tough but doable, but, you know, already down here in losers, having lost the first one to Boy 03. So, yeah, I mean, that's what loser side's looking like, and however this goes, it's going to be a lot of fun stuff. Again, a bunch of these players, I don't know yet who we're going to see in terms of their character choice.
100%. For me, as I was looking through the bracket, I was very much of, okay, I definitely see Clockwork, I definitely see Soul's Clue on that winner side as we get closer, and more than likely, for me, I was envisioning top 4, but already seeing that huge, like, change in terms of how they lost and now they're in the loser side. That's their last chance before anything can happen. Well, last chance here.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, and just to be speaking realistically, practically, it's pretty tough to get from Oceania to other big tournaments where you can qualify. I mean, we know that they have had one player who used to do it regularly, now no longer is playing very actively competitively. Waz didn't make it into this thing. But that's hard. Like, I remember speaking with that dude when he would show up to, you know, CEO or Combo Breaker or something. 20-hour journey to get there, right? It's just very difficult to do. So this is the big chance, I think, for most of these players in terms of whether they're going to make it into final combat. If they had the chance to qualify to more events, I certainly believe that there are some very talented players who could make it far. Realistically speaking, this is the chance. So we're going to go now to Pax on Pax versus Kia D Law. I haven't seen Kia D Law up here yet, but this is a Lao player. He says, first of all, I'm a former champion of table tennis in Queensland and current best table tennis player of Tasmania. Okay, but table tennis god out here. Also, by the way, a Lao loyalist until he's 6 years old.
That's so awesome. That is actually super awesome to hear that they've been playing Mortal Kombat for such a long time and remained loyal to a character for such a long time too.
If you're gonna pick a character to do it, it's a good choice. But he's been playing competitively, by the way, only for 2 years. Been playing.
Really?
Yeah, I've been playing MK, like I said, since they were 6, so that's 17 years since he's 23. But yeah, competitively, only 2.
taking it to the next level. And I honestly can see it here, as we've already been seeing that health chip away from Paxton in this situation. Definitely throwing out the hats as well as the Sonya rings and establishing just really good pressure. This is a big pickup thanks to the armor as well. And that's going to be a hard knockdown for the safe jump. Great throw tech though from Paxton Paxi. But again, Kia D-Law just waiting and ready for it.
It isn't bragging.
Looking really good.
Round 2. Fight.
Yeah, out there trying to maintain control, stabbing in as you do.
Oh, that's not the armor, but we still got the pickup afterwards to keep that corner pressure going.
Okay, yeah, pick it up with Sonya. A few hundred into pressure if he wants. He's been light about it. Okay. In for a chance now. Pax. Pick up would have been hard.
Ooh, there's the
extra
Sonya overhead.
Yup.
Very nice there from Kia D-Law, and now again, the
Come on!
jump
That was so
over the
sick.
overhead. We were expecting Kung Lao kicks. Nah, you got Sonya kicks instead.
Ooh, no Sonya to call though, although Chip, or maybe just the low, is gonna do it. So, game 1, Kia D-Law. You know, in the first one, which is when they qualified, 4th place, but got sent to losers in 2nd round actually by Sagat83, another really strong player in the region, who I think is as old as me. Shout outs to the old folks out there. And then after that, had to make it past a whole bunch of players to end up getting into 4th place. So that kind of mental fortitude is always a good thing to see, even though 4th place is not necessarily what you want, but to have that, to show that you are capable of making that kind of a long run after losing early, it's a good sign.
Not only that, your 2 years of competitive playing, that type of mental fortitude doesn't come until way later, after you've played in a lot of tournaments, you've mastered your feelings and emotions during tournament. So that is already a great sign of a really great competitor. And we
Hey,
are
this is a
seeing
former champion of table tennis, I'll have you know. And
True.
current best table tennis player in Tasmania. And maybe those are different things, but the feeling of having to conquer your nerves, I'm sure it's the same.
100%. We also
Kia
do see,
Dynamo Law.
indeed, we do see the change as well to Paxton Paxi back on that katana that we saw was so deadly against Soul's Clue from that first game earlier on in the show.
Yeah, I'm doing well right now with it. Okay, no, kind of funky to convert. Yo, oh. Makes his way in, forces his way in, really, with the 140. Grounded, can't, yes, anything was gonna be a risk. So, Pax on Pax, definitely more control. As you said, switching over here looks a lot stronger.
I think this character and this team is gonna be what's gonna help Paxton Paxi carry way more throughout this bracket as well. So I love the control. Again, it's not about going into autopilot, it's really just trying to apply pressure. And there's that pressure able to condition to get caught in the overhead. We're going straight for setups, by the way. Not gonna even give you a chance. No punish, and then that's gonna be the down 1 check to follow up right after. But the whip punish, and in the corner as well. Very tricky to get 3 of those, by the way, in the corner. And we see Paxton Paxi just taking shots, but the last man whipped, but we still cleaned it up at the end.
Exactly what he needed. Backhand. Looking really good on that. A lot of control. Even up close looked good. Defensively played well. So not just the character selection changed, but also looked stronger in the rest of the game too. Defensively, offensively, just looked a little bit more successful.
I would also say too that you're just able to keep Kung Lao also away and in check so much better with a character like this. Now, I will say, anytime you see someone add Sector as their cameo, kind of makes them a top 5 character. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, because the way Sector works in this game as a cameo is insane at how there's so much opportunity between being able to do an uppercut like that, from also being very, very fearful of the missiles as well, and the fact that those missiles can make you bounce too. But we're going to see how Pax and Paxis can deal with this pick and be able to still establish that game plan that they've been doing really well.
First of all, that's cool katana.
I love this outfit. This is one of my favorite outfits, even if it's not Christmas time.
Nice little pickup all the way forward. Oh man, very light. Just the overhead.
Ooh.
Not very sharp, huh?
Round
What a way to
Score.
confirm. Yup, Sector to follow up right after that back throw. Again, just you have so much opportunities there. Also notice too, it would have bounced. So let's say if Kia D Law was able to get Pax and Paxi with a little bit more health, that would have been really big damage. And we got the spin.
That was
with
the entire bar.
armor.
That
All
was
of
the
it.
whole bar.
We spending it.
Uh-huh. If you're the Lao player, like, you gotta let the opponent know, though, right? That, like, that's a possibility. If you got 3 bars, yeah, you might as well do it. You don't know. You don't know me.
Really big pickup here again, thanks to that missile property. Oh, we went straight for the spin again, and you got the overhead just for a little bit of flashes, like you mentioned. You gotta show that this is now a move you're afraid of. You're gonna have to hold that. Either I'm gonna spin away, or I'm gonna spin forward, or I'm just gonna use it to get you to be hard knockdown, and I get to sweep you or do an overhead. You gotta guess for which one.
That's how it goes. Yep, absolutely right. Nice recovery by Kia D Law in that to go up 2-1. Now, again, we've seen so many different characters from Pax on Pax already today too. But we also know that he's got the Sector. He's got the. Oh, we've seen 3 actually. We saw Lee Mei once. We saw Melina once, and we see Katana as well. So already 3, but.
The Great Hall.
And with Katana
think
being, like
Raiden
you
has a
mentioned,
crush
that was the
on
pick
you.
that kind of came in and was like, oh, well, here's the now 17 picks have been made, or 17 characters have been really shown. But I like I said, I feel that Pax and Paxi does have something cooking here with this Katana.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And it's just a matter of trying to figure out the patterns of the opponent. And Kia D Law has been just great in switching it up and really challenging the reactions on Pax on Paxi.
True. Little turn steal. Oh, here it comes. Okay, only called the close one.
Like staggers, there's the throw tech cam from Paxton. And we still get those projectiles out. I do like that we are seeing that Kia D Law is trying to take out Sonya. Well, because of the fact that Paxton on Paxi's been using Sonya in so many instances. The double missiles landed, and we
To
went
break?
for the hero break.
20 HP. Oh man, it's gone. 3 bars. Which one of them spent 3 bars faster in the last 2 games? The question for you. Right there it was Pax. Kind of blowing it. Match point. Kia Dynamo Law.
Good flawless block. Also a great opportunity to keep it there. Great challenge as well before there was any follow-up afterwards.
And backs off. And, you know, Katana's got a lot to say out there, but... Okay, 2 bars now. For safety, but... It hasn't really been where it's worked out. I would say it's worked out better up closer in footsies, and... Right now, that's where Kia is trying to make things happen.
Oh, what a
Yo,
jump
keep
kick!
picking up, almost!
Ooh, one touch from either can either make or break this game right now. As we see Kia D Law once again back to full screen and throwing out Lao Hat. Sector missile?
Yeah, you just get the block,
Yep.
dude, yeah. Really nice patience. By Pax on Pax. Okay, alright. Staying alive. Pax still in this.
Final round.
Both stocked
fully
with
stocked.
Yep, both stocked with those leaders to help out with each each other as well. That's one already spent. Now a second one.
And doesn't have the second one now for safety, so Pack's feeling a little bit better about approaching. Bomb? Bomb though? Oh, he's not gonna get a chance to bring it out. Yeah, again, that distance game has not really been where it's been successful for packs on packs. Yeah, knockdown. The double!
All of it, yes! That's gonna be forcing a breaker on Paxon.
Yeah, big resources spent though on Kia's side though. Double sector's not gonna be back for a long time. Yo, what a read by Pack! That's what I'm talking about. 3 bars gone. The low. And the low to take it and to move on. It is Kia Dynamo Law moving into winners finals. 5th seed overall coming into this thing. Yeah, I loved it. I mean, the pressure up close is great. That's what you expect. But there was also a lot of great stuff in that far distance game with, of course, his own excellent air hat and, of course, his sector coming up from the ground. He just had a really good job of making it difficult, I think, for what a Katana player wants to do.
Most definitely. And here we saw earlier on in the match where, again, Kia D Law was just being super dominant, utilizing a lot of meter, but hey, that's how Kung Lao plays in this match. Now, the switch from Paxon Paxi did help quite a bit, switching the Katana to put a point on the board. But, you know, one thing you mentioned that I really want to highlight is, again, it's the backing off, right? We saw so much opportunity for Kia D Law to be up close and up front and personal, but there was just moments where Paxon Paxi kept giving space, and then, you know, losing these up close battles was just devastating in those moments. That really made it important for Paxon Paxi to establish dominance, but just wasn't able to do so on that moment.
There you go. So down to loser's side they go. In loser's side, Fidget Stimmer 3-2 over Soul's Clue. So Soul's Clue, the qualifier from last year, from this region, out of it in 7th place. In a close one, 2 close ones, 3-2, Pax versus Soul's Clue, 3-2, Fidget Stimmer versus Soul's Clue. Unfortunately for Clue, coming out on the losing end both times, and it is over.
I feel like that is probably the most shocking of this bracket right here in this moment, is the fact that, you know, again, like you mentioned, Soul's Clue qualifying last year, and now that dream right here, at least for this regional finals, is done. So, I mean, props to Fidget Stimmer to being able to take down a really strong opponent. And of course, like we mentioned before, Kia D Law taking out Paxon Paxi. So Paxon Paxi now in the loser side. Not giving up just yet. We are definitely going to see some more of that action for sure. And hopefully, again, that Katana can just take it home all the way. I really feel that Katana is as strong as it is. It's just making sure you're, again, up close and personal, and not allowing any form of movement or breathing right there in those instances.
So we talked about Clockwork and his IRL physical accomplishments, right? Again, this is this is the real software. I got it mixed. We got the software in here. And then on the other side, Boy, FGC Boy, this is true, is a 6'7" strongman competitor who got 3rd place in New Zealand's Strongest Man competition a couple of years ago. People were like, in the previous streams, they're like, you know, Boy was looking about which character to select, and he wanted to pick the one who looked most like his own real body. So he picked Shao Kahn, the giant. Because, I mean, honestly, I looked it up to verify this, by the way. I was curious. And sure enough, you can go online and find video of that dude winning the truck pull competition. Pulling a truck. And getting 1st place doing it.
That's amazing.
That's so sick. Shout out to FGC, man. There's so many talented people in the FGC all around the world. Anyway, Boy, though, in terms of this game, really, really strong. you'll be seeing great offense, great pressure. If he gets a chance, so far, very, very good stage control.
Yeah, this is where as much damage as possible Xiao can do. This is where you want to be able to stay up close and personal. And look at that damage as well. By the way, this is a boss character. 1100 health.
That's what I'm talking about, yup. Yeah, super sick character. This is such a fun, interesting design now. The little changes that they've made to him here and there. New move. The ability to pressure, continue pressure, steal turns, all that sort of stuff. Is very much in there. Oh, wow. Yes. Safety went back in. There it is. Keep the axe down. Keep the axe down.
I love that they gave that opportunity for Xiao in these recent patches. Having the ability to keep the axe down and just stay with those plus frames helps Xiao so much, because that's like, you gotta deal with me. Just imagine you're getting walked down by this boss character. And
By
you're
the way,
just
fast
trying.
walk speed. Yeah.
Fast walk speed, exactly. And then this happens. You're done. You're just done. Right there.
Oh. Boy, second place in the first qualifier. And in doing so, took out a lot of the best players in the region. Took out Kia D-Law, Fidget Stimmer, Megabytes, Matu, Soul's Clue, and Bruno in the reset. So again, that's a lot of the best players in the area. It looked really great in doing it. So great, he actually, in top 8 at one point, actually had a 9-game winning streak going, like during top 8. Like in the like King of the Hill, you know, it like says like what your record is. 9 streak. It was what it said in there. In the qualifier. So pretty good, man. Pretty good.
That's a really amazing thing to hear. You know, speaking of which, you mentioned so many really good names, right, David? So last year, when it came to Soul's Clue, it was more of a backfill for being able to fill up that spot from the Oceanic finals. But something that Soul's Clue was really trying to push for is going to Final Kombat to help level up the region as a whole when coming back to Australia. And honestly, they leveled up, because this bracket has been insane. And we've just seen FGC Boy force Clockwork off of Sector and now into Ermac, and we're still going. We're still that boss character with that full 1100 health. You're not even getting to play the game almost until now.
Yeah, a bit of a drop. Clockwork's got a chance now. He's got a really good Ermac. I really like what I saw in the like that. Or sending the breaker. So despite a drop, Boy ends up doing the work he needs to do. Full Sector ready to go. And good luck teching that one on reaction.
Yep.
I feel like I've teched that on reaction like under 5 times in there. It's like, what are you gonna do?
It's definitely a 1% chance
Super
to tech
tough,
that.
yeah.
It's like, if someone is able to tech those grabs, I need to meet them and I need to ask them. Yeah, like we need to understand what's your mindset there, for sure.
Okay. Overhead. Here it is, finally. Get out of there. Nice.
Yeah, some of these drops not too happy with them personally, but hey, it got the job done. So Clockwork's still picking up something and being able to keep some form of control going here.
Close enough to get something out of it. Throws him in the corner. That's exactly what an Ermac is looking for right there. The backdash into, again, more back 2 or whatever it is to try to whip punish you. Okay, forward pressure this time.
That full screen thing to forward throw. That's a huge punish! That the entire hitbox just flipped!
Keep it up. No, not quite. Boy, really aware of when to try to stop an Ermac and pressing too many buttons in this situation. Now, corner pressure. Gonna need one more. Ooh, yeah, you get to keep it up. The little hick confirm there with amplified stay down. I don't know what it's called. Stay down move. The axe just wants to return to his hand. No, stay down.
I won't lie, I feel feel kind of happy I'm not on the receiving end of getting hit by that mix-up, just because that mix-up can look so satisfying as a viewer as you see it hit, but it's not a good feeling when you're on the receiving end and you're just in that corner and you're just kind of like, but I guessed, and my guess was wrong. Oh well, I guess.
That's fighting games. Don't let anybody tell you that it's not guessing, all right? We're all guessing out here. I don't want to see any of this like, oh, guessing, I don't want to guess. We're guessing. Like, that's the video game. And you can win, you can be consistent still, but it's guessing. And in that situation right there, you know, just great pressure consistently by Boy. I mean, the way that he, just as a mountain, is just continuously moving forward. It feels like you can never stop him from just moving. Even if you do find a hit, even if you do find something into knockdown and pressure, he is just there again. He's ready to go.
That's why he was the strongman, winning third in the strongest man match.
Pulling the truck just like he's pulling General Shao. That said, Clockwork, what a great start.
Really nice.
Again, the backdash guy into
very
exactly
nice.
what he wants. And hopefully, from his sake, doing that more would maybe convince Boy to not press the buttons again, though. Clockwork looks for it, and again, he's right.
Very, very different match that I'm seeing here for Clockwork compared to the previous. We are seeing that classic Ermac. Yeah, exactly. The chase is happening here, and FGC Boy's been losing that chase. But unfortunate, it was too early on the overhead. Tried to get the jump too, and no chasing this time. Might have tried to actually figure out a pattern here. There goes the double rocket. Super plus on hit.
He's gonna hold it. What a flawless!
Ooh.
He stays away just in case there was armor. Look at the time, 15. It's Clockwork with the big life lead. Okay, and he ends up taking it. But it felt to me just like by watching how Boy was playing that he felt like he had the life lead.
Round two. Fight.
And I think that's what's so nice to see from a Boy is that, like, literally, again, that fear of that low health, it's not really there. Because, again, you have a really good character like Shao to really keep Ermac in check. There's a bit of distance there. Again, great pickup, and that forces Clockwork off on that breaker.
Very consistently pressing the buttons. Wow, the one time he didn't actually is exactly when Clockwork brought up grab. Good work. Excellent job on the read. Full sector, double, gotta just hold it, yep.
Down. Ooh. There's the overhead. Big damage to go ahead and hold up afterwards, but still gets grabbed. Clockwork brings out the Janet, gets the teleport, safe jump, and we stop you from jumping on wake up.
Yeah, what a conversion. What a funky hit. Bop, bop. Got 2 seconds of hit confirm time right there, I tell you.
We broke here. We believe?
Kick up. To the other side, Janet to the rescue. Can he get the round? His own? That was so good. Clockwork, what an amazing reaction with his teleport to the other side. Boy was just hoping that he would be busy, that he'd be doing something, but no, Clockwork was ready, patient, reactive, and had exactly the right combo on deck.
Pure reaction right there. I looked at that and I was just like,
Good.
Wait a minute. The sector missile is too slow. It's slower than the teleport. The teleport's kind of slow, but the missile was this time way more slower. I was a little bit fearful that it might have been like something where the sector missile would have hit as Ermac was gonna transition away from the screen and then go behind, but I'm so happy to see that with the reactions from Clockwork and the really well-timed, like, keep it simple, get to the fatal blow before even breaker comes back. Very good stuff there from Clockwork, and I definitely see why this Ermac pick has keeping Boy on his toes right there.
For sure. Yeah, looking a lot stronger. Pressure's working out. Mid-range. Okay, can you get there in time? Look at this buttonsy stuff. Teleport in. See buttons from Kane.
I wonder if these chase downs have been. Oh, that has been the first wake up armored launcher that I've seen from FGC Boy, and Clockwork was just fully ready for it.
Did you see that? So sick. Okay, get there? No, not quite. Okay, yeah, in. Very active. Boy with a punish into what? It feels like you can't guess right all of a sudden after game 1 and 2, where it felt like you almost couldn't guess wrong. It's Clockwork consistently getting it.
Fight.
Yo, tube escape? That's what I'm talking about, a little navigation.
The chase down winning this time around. It's a slight drop. But we have the axe. The duck on the grab! And the up block to follow up on the jump in. Now we're seeing a little bit of those guessing games putting in favor for Boy here.
Yes.
Wow.
Exactly what he needed. What a sequence. Big corner carry, big damage, big pressure, big mix-up. And again, it's match point here for FGC Boy. Stood up on reaction. His own defense now coming to the rescue.
Janet gets a teleport to follow up right afterwards.
Ooh.
Ooh, the throw tech! Slight chase downs again, but those down ones are keeping FGC Boy in check, but we have the back throw.
Again, navigates so well. Right in front of where that missile is gonna go. He's really made Boy press fewer buttons in this game. Oh, just as I say, man. FGC Boy with the right read. Hey.
There we go.
Oh, and he canceled it. One mix remains. Clockwork in big trouble. FGC Boy 1 hit away from moving on.
Condition
Plus,
with the low.
he pressed buttons there?
Ooh.
Can he get there?
Fatal? Oh, Death Embrace! Smart. Smart. 15 seconds on the
he wasn't
clock.
close enough. Ran out. Got him!
No!
Yes! Yo, Clockwork! The real socks wearing plague from Clockwork to tie it up 2 games to 2.
I love,
Washed up veterans like.
absolutely love when Ermac players throw on Death's Embrace. I feel like Ermac players really embrace what that move is about, because a lot of it's so interesting when that move was first introduced in the Kombat cast, how it's like, what? A character using their meter to protect themselves? But the way it has been used by Ermac players, I love it every single time. And this is one of those times, because you can see that there was only that little bit of health. You still have the boss character with that chunk of health still left over. But let me put this on, use whatever is left over on my meter, and then utilize the movement and keeping Boy in check throughout all of these matches to get the whiff punish that just sealed that deal. That was such a great play there. Truly worthy of the socks, indeed.
Real socks wearing stuff from Clockwork. And Boy now ties it up 2-2. Or is tied 2-2. Chameleon comes out. We're gonna start.
That's the grab, but did not get the reaction. But here is the Jade Razorang to be able to launch on. This is another really strong pairing, by the way, for Shao. I see a lot of Shao players. If Sector's not working, they'll switch to Chameleon right after.
Air stuff there from Clockwork. He's teched it twice? The first time I thought it was just luck.
It was just some strongman luck.
I mean, sometimes you're just pressing stand 2, you know? Like, yeah, I don't know. That one was not a 2-tech.
Ooh, Rage Guard to stop you from jumping. And we are back on that territory of You are on potential set point here for FGC Boy.
We hadn't seen it very often with Sector. FGC Boy. Big forward stuff. Again overhead.
I definitely blocked low on that safe jump too. That might be it. That might be it. And it is! It is FGC Boy taking it in a very quick fashion against Clockwork and getting through the gatekeeper himself.
FGC Boy into winners finals. So that means it will be Boy versus Kia D Law in winners finals. Guaranteed top 3, but that's not going to do much for you in this event. What matters is getting first place because that's who qualifies into final combat. But still, great position to be able to do it from in that winners finals. Shout outs to those 2 players making it through. And now, just thinking about how this went, right, as we take a look back at the replay. Boy looked so much in control in the earlier part of this set. Big offense, big pressure, very consistent, very quick 2-0. And then it was on Clockwork. Honestly, great job by Clockwork to make the adaptations that he did. You know, it didn't end up working out, but this was an awesome moment, yes, to look back on. Super sick little confirm. I feel like he's done that before. You know, he's probably seen a Sector fatal blow in neutral, as we all have.
And yep, right here after that Death's Embrace, another pick up there as well. But this particular game, the last one, game 5, what a quick fashion thanks to Chameleon, and also just guessing games galore right here as you're just getting hit over and over, and the optimal routes just keep on coming as FGC Boy progresses on to the winners final and once again takes out Clockwork, another big favorite in this tournament, down to the loser side. So as you can see here with the bracket, winners finals, Kia D Law versus FGC Boy, and then our losers round 2. What are losers round 2 here as we're seeing it?
Yeah, I'll say Clockwork, Fidget Stimmer, and Veil. By the way, we still haven't seen on stream. We will get the chance, as indeed number 1 and number 2 seeds are out of here. Soul's Clue we mentioned before. Fidget Stimmer beat him 3-2. Bruno out of here, courtesy of Veil, 3-2. We'll talk more about Veil shortly, but yeah, how about that? That those 2 players who came into here right on the top are out of here already. Again, there's a lot of parity in skills. You could see, I mean, already as we've been able to watch. There's a lot of parity in terms of who's the strong player here, and that's a blast to see from the outside perspective. Super fun to watch from the player perspective. It gives you a lot of reason to keep playing and to get better, right? That you know that you're seen as full of strong players. And as you mentioned, you know, Soul's Clue's goal in Final Kombat last year was to learn a bunch of stuff with best players around the world, and then bring it back to Australia, to Oceania, and to help players learn and get better. And I mean, I don't know if that's the reason, but like, mission accomplished. Like, the scene definitely looks good. I really, really like what we're watching so far here.
Yes, super, super entertaining. But don't go anywhere, folks. We are going to go to a very, very quick break as we are going to go ahead and get some hydration, get some breaks going in as we continue with the action here for the Oceania Regional Finals for the Pro Competition. Don't go anywhere.
Your shapeshifting is so elegant, so refined.
It makes us more efficient killers.
Fight!
Have you seen John Connor?
John Connor? Dude, you've got Johnny Cage.
You're not a man. You're a machine.
A T-1000 advanced prototype, liquid metal.
Finish him. Fatality. T-1000 wins. Flawless victory.
Have you two been practicing my lessons?
As we can. The harvest leaves us little time for martial arts.
Since your first words, Kung Lao, you've mouthed nothing but excuses. If you fail to prepare...
Your preparations will fail.
Finish him. Flawless victory.
Hill got caught in the fatal blow, Zap! You're joking. Unbreak! That is going to be the end of Combo Breaker.
Welcome back, everyone, to some more Mortal Kombat here on the Oceania Regional Finals. My name's Saki. I'm here with Ultra David, and we have just been having so much excitement, so much hype in these matches, but the hype just doesn't stop here online. We got some more hype to talk about, including some of the leftover offlines that are still gonna happen here for Pro Competition. So in May, we are jam-packed. We got Brussels Challenge through May 17th and the 18th. We of course got Combo Breaker also happening on the May 23rd and 25th. You're also gonna come here to my hometown for Florida CEO June 13th through the 15th. Shoutouts to my Latin brothers, Blink Respawn 2025, also happening in June on the 18th and 20th. And of course, Evo, the most hype moment and where legends are told, August 1st to the 3rd, and the last stop being versus fighting number 11, August 15th through the 17th. So plenty of action and plenty of opportunities, especially for you international players, to definitely take advantage of apart from these online regionals.
Again, we have a couple of different ways to qualify. You're watching one of them. Online qualifiers, we have 10 different regions, we'll have 10 different online qualifiers. And then also, there are 8 players who will make it through based on their points that they get at those offline events, at the Demigod and Combatant events in person. So that's the other way to go through, and then you got your one last chance, your last chance qualifier at Final Combat. So those are the ways to make it happen. I'm going to be at some of those events. I know that you're going to be at some of those events too. And the ones that I'm not going to, I'm absolutely going to watch, as I have already. The stuff to watch previously, the Biennale, the Mexico event, super fun.
Oh,
It's
that
always
was
a blast
so
to
much
watch.
fun. Oh my gosh. It was such a treat to be able to be there in person.
Yeah, that was
David.
I was very happy for you. That was super cool.
It was so cool. And honestly, I just love being able to see so much international talent. I think if anything, this is probably my favorite parts of the Pro Tour, is just being able to see so many different approaches. Like, we've even talked about it throughout tonight, how there's been different picks. Some picks we kind of were expecting, and then others we were just like, oh, you had that in your back pocket. Okay, then that works for us. So it's been a really exciting time, and definitely as a Mortal Kombat fan, and even as someone who's just getting into competition, this is awesome moments that you should be definitely taking a part of, even if you're just a spectator, even if you're just learning right now. It's a good time as well.
I hear that. Yeah, go get some games. You know, if you happen to live near one of those areas with the big offline events, make it out there. You don't have to have a plan to win the whole thing to go play in the tournament. You know, it's always a great thing to learn, meet people, have a great time. One of the best things about our scene. And now we move on. Clockwork versus Fidget Stimmer coming up next. We've seen Clockwork already a few times. Let's talk a little bit about Fidget Stimmer. 17 years old. Started playing towards the end of Mortal Kombat 11. You may have known him as Nicky Mabob before. He got 4th in this thing last year, 4th in the Oceania Regional Finals. And he says, I think my path will be extremely challenging, as many people in the scene have improved over the years. Everyone's a threat. And I gotta say, I think he's right. I actually think that that's the correct way to go into this thing, as thinking that everybody is a threat.
Most definitely. I could not agree more with you. Also, I want to just highlight, Mortal Kombat has some of the most inspiring stories, especially when we kind of look at the young legends, right? We have the legends of the old, where so many renowned players have either still competing or they're getting ready and training the future generation, right? So it's amazing to see how someone who got introduced to MK11 was like, okay, this is fun, but we're waiting for that next game. We hop onto the next game, and you're already being this successful, where you're reaching to these top placements. You're in this top 8. You're still fighting, by the way. You know, you've taken down probably some of the strongest seeds already. So here you are, and you're already setting a great tone to the legend in your books.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. He got sent down to losers by Kia D-Law, which we didn't see on stream, but then he took out Soul's Clue. You know, again, the person who was in Final Combat last time, and perennially one of the best players here. 3-2, I'm sure it was close, I'm sure it was a great set, but yeah, making it through was Fidget Stimmer. His character selection, again, this is another one of the players that, I don't know, man, what we're gonna see. Because in the qualifiers, we saw Liu Kang Motaro, we saw Kenshi Striker, we saw Raiden Sector, we saw Kenshi Lao, actually, as well. Maybe there's something else, right? We talked about how for PAX we expected one of like a few, and then it was actually Katana today. I really don't know what to expect here.
No, I do want to highlight, I like seeing that Fidget Stimmer is still keeping up with Kenshi, and I actually really like that we got to see Kenshi and Striker as that pairing, because with the Kenshi changes, now you're not facing that oppression as you were were before, where you had Sento out and it was just a large amount of times. Now there's actually if the timer feels like a timer, but more than anything, Kenshi can be able to take away Sento in those moments, and Striker does a really good job because Striker got a new move where now he can just continuously shoot those shots, kind of like how Robocop was doing the low shots in MK11. Yeah. Striker's got that now, so it's like Striker has always been that character where it's very much safe to be able to set up on your things, and specifically for like Kenshi, for example. But what I really find interesting is how Kenshi players have been trying to utilize that new move to guarantee those Sento setups and still create those Sento sandwiches and being able to just fully take advantage of that pressure and opportunity. So I'm actually hoping to see that we get to see that Kenshi against Clockwork. Now, of course, Clockwork, no stranger to the competitive field, got the socks on and everything, okay? And still very much a aggressive but also patient player. We saw it with Sector and we see it with Ermac, and I'm not going to be surprised if Ermac be that first choice here.
I think you're right. I thought it looked really strong. Yeah, Kenshi and Striker was already a team, you know, and then they give Striker that new move. I really like the sort of semi redesign. They've changed Kenshi in some significant ways, right? Where you mentioned that the Sento doesn't last as long and that you can recall it. But also he got some buffs in non-Sento too, so he's just like a little bit more of an all-arounder. Anyway, we'll see if he comes up later. But for now, it's gonna be Raiden starting things off.
Round one.
Now,
what do we got on deck? Raiden Sector.
Okay, yeah, of course. That's like the best combo right there. Yup, indeed the team. Now, with Raiden and Sector, though, this is going to be challenging because it is a bit of a chase. And with Clockwork, again...
Let me see it.
Yup.
Pop, 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 pop. Oh, this is the sickest combo. Look at this.
Yes, this could be 60, I think.
Oh, so cool. Da, 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 da.
Oh, so close!
Oh, man, that's so sick. Pretty tough. I don't know if you ever tried it, but like I have, just to see how with whether I could do it. Answer no.
Ermac kind of hurts my fingers. I'm not gonna lie. It's
yeah,
very tough for me. I put it on
agree.
leverless and I'm just like, oh, this hurts too much. I'm sorry.
For sure.
Pick up here though. That's already gonna force Clockwork into the breaker, and Fatal Blow is available. The challenge.
Fidget Stimmer got hit by the overhead before, so I understand Clockwork going in and trying it again here, but that time the block was ready, the counterplay was ready right after. I'm good.
Again, not going to be able to catch up on the full running after.
A little bit of a challenge into pressure. Finally is the rocket. Rarely has called.
What a good call out there from the jump, and look how much opportunity here for Fidget Stimmer off of a great read on that low. And this is again just keeping that pressure thanks to the Raiden strings.
Okay, ready on the escape too. Let's go. Right, get what you can. Down two. Biggest individual hit you're gonna get. Okay, the backdash this time. You have to stay outside to effectively whip punish. The spacing trap that Ermac has. Oh yeah. By the way, Fidget Stimmer won the round where he got hit for a 58% combo. Just want to point out, that was pretty sick.
Call out on the throw is also going to be able to capitalize thanks to the missile. Another breaker from Clockwork. Fidget Stimmer being more conscious of the fact that, again, you can use this ability, the meter to be able to amp up on damage and get those routes that are crucial for Raiden. And it's more about trying to just stay the full screen, keep it in check, and then get those low strings. But this is a big pickup, forcing the breaker now this time around.
In and out stuff. Yeah, at least out of the sky. For Clockwork. Trying to chase a little bit even. You gotta watch. Yeah, that was the intention there, is to hide the assist. Classic versus gameplay.
A lot of movement here from Clockwork to go in and out, but Fidget Stimmer actually backing up and not trying to go for chases. Knows that that's the advantage that Clockwork has with Janet and Ermac on his side. There's the chase, but no pickup. The unlock! And that's another breaker. This is Fidget Stimmer's last chance. Those 15 seconds on the clock. The low
didn't believe it.
hit confirmed.
10 on the clock. Clockwork with the life lead. Socks on. Does he have enough to weather it? You waltzed up after that?
Finish it.
Did a grab? Oh, wow. Okay, well, it worked out for Clockwork game 1.
Ermac wins.
Was he expecting that there was a rocket behind it? I don't know. It was like very slow. But in any case, it worked out. Clockwork game 1.
Strong,
I don't know.
solid.
I mean, are you looking for a change here? You think there's a Kenshi on deck, or would you go back into it as Raiden?
You know, for this particular matchup, and from what I'm seeing right here, I feel like we can continue with the Raiden, but I feel like it's a risk to do so. I feel like you need to win this match, no matter what, right? Because this is where you can set the pace for sure. Now, I feel like Raiden can get you there, but you gotta be more believing in both your strings, but also careful on that chase sequence. With Raiden, it's literally get the health lead, walk back, and then just establish your pressure as much as possible. Keeping in mind, too, how much cameo bar you're spending. Sector is very expensive with cameo bar, and for good reason, too, because those missiles do a lot of coverage. But Clockwork has just been so aggressive and just been able to do exactly this. With punish, back up. Oh, you're trying to chase me. Guess what? That's part of my game plan, and I'm going to capitalize it every single time. And you can't wake up buttons on me. What are you doing?
Oh, I think that was a flawless in this game, in this round right there.
Fight.
Can we get any better than that? Great start for him as well. Fidget Stimmer still looking for the first hit. First bit of chip even. No, it's a chance again for Clockwork. Okay, it's not going to be flawless here. On the strength of 1, down 1. Okay. Yeah, I mean, look, Fidget Stimmer was 1-4-3 confirm away from taking the last game.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
It's gonna be a 60%.
Flex on him. Flex. And splits. Oh, no!
No, it dropped!
It's tough. It's a tough one.
Ooh.
Out of the sky. Here we go. This is doable here for Fidget Stimmer. He needs maybe 2 hits. 1. Now he needs 2 still. Due to that quick break. Very fast thought. 1.25 on the health bar. Will he give into the risk to do something like a teleport or like a bobble? I don't know. He gets on the whiff punish actually.
Oh my gosh,
Oh.
and there's the down 3. Ooh, and Clockwork still stays alive with 2-0. Now, that was very much a stressful, like, okay, I can make the comeback, but wait a minute, I can't really make this comeback because the breaker's just been used. I only have 1 health point and 1.25 better said. And any touch can kill in this instance. You don't have a meter because you just used it all. So you can't even go for a last breath in that situation. It was going to be tough. It was definitely going to be tough. Now, question here is, do we change? And we're not. And I'm actually glad that that's the case. Because I don't think changing a character at this level where you're going to be pretty much locked in, if you do win, you might as well do it with someone you've been playing throughout that whole match and just try to see what you can make out of it against Clockwork. What can you adapt against this character and player?
The lucky break there that he capitalized as well on. He's got the corner quickly. Much earlier than before. It's still coming though, yeah. Not enough hits done to get a combo, but still. Fidget Stimmer trying to keep his turn. Trying to keep this corner. Corner himself.
Ooh, okay.
Spacing trap again.
This is big for Clockwork. Corner is dominant right now. And then this is just damage galore as we were going to go ahead and get Janet to clean up shop. Again, 33% for the safe jump. And we're trying to chase after Clockwork, but that's the thing about Ermac. The quick cancels and the backdash movement makes it extremely difficult to keep Ermac in check. And as you can see, Clockwork already on that potential set point.
Really tough to challenge in these situations. I mean, not necessarily because it's not like it's a plus situation over and over again. It's just that he could backdash and whip punish you, and, like, just like he tried right there, for example.
Teleport, there's the Janet. Yep. This combo is just so sick. I can't.
It's so cool. You have to refresh it. Look at the meter on the top left if you're curious how it splits. When she does the split, she gets more. Oh no, a drop!
Oh, again! But it does help a lot with when you look at how much of a health lead you have. And now Clockwork is, honestly, can just sit back, do these throws, pretty much just have fun with the game, as it's now Fidget Stimmer who has to make something happen here. Whether it be a low string, whether it be this air-to-air, and then the safe jump to try to open up, but we get caught with the grab of that range, and now it is all Clockwork to take it home. And are we gonna get a Brutal? Nah, we're not gonna get a Brutal.
Pretty quick 3-0. It's the only one that we've seen on stream so far today. All the rest have been quite close, but 3-0 right there as Clockwork makes it through. So Fidget Stimmer out. Again, shout out to him taking out Soul's Clue earlier. I'm sorry we didn't get to see that, but that was, you know, that's how it works here. We all know the setup. Had to win to move on and get on stream. And for him here, the road is going to be closed off. That said, look, young player, 17, obviously has a strong future if he wants to stick with this thing. So looking forward to him in the future again.
Yeah, this was actually what I was actually wondering, I'm so glad thanks to these replays, we were seeing if the sector missile was going to be in line, and that's what we were probably waiting for, but Clockwork was just dominant throughout these entire matches. And while there is a couple of cool things that Raiden can do with the sector team, sometimes it's just not enough when you're not able to keep up with the Ermac player and you just keep getting chased down, better said. And with that being said too, Clockwork's moving on and Fidget Stimmer heading on home. So we also do have an update too from the losers round 2 side of things. Paxon Pax Z takes out Veil 3-1, and that will put on to Paxon Pax Z facing against Clockwork here for the losers semi-finals. And of course, we're gonna just switch on over to the winners finals, where we're gonna see Kia D-Law versus FGC Boy. I'm actually really excited for this match, David.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, they're both really fun players to watch. The way the Boy just relentlessly moves forward is it's terrifying, but also very, very strong. And then the mix-ups up close have been killer. Really like his offense. That's the name of the game, of course, when it comes to how this character is played. You can really tell he's got a great sense for it. And when we saw him in the qualifier, you know, today so far we've seen mostly his offense, but he also has great defense. If you think about how he was playing previously against Clockwork, right? He was challenging in a lot of those Ermac situations really well. He blocked every overhead, right? He teched at least 2 of the grabs that are really difficult to tech, as we were talking about. So it's not just that he's got great offense. This is like a complete player, really good with shot. And then on Kia's side, yeah, I really liked the way that he's been playing with the Lao so far. His mid-range stuff, the ranged play, the willingness to do 3 bars in a row, right, for safety, and then for the mix-up afterward, that you gotta let the opponent know that you're willing to do. Love to see it. And then, you know, I just want to say as well, like, it's cool, I think, personally, from somebody who's not from this region, to see in winners finals a player from New Zealand. I really think that's cool. Again, as I was saying before, just, you know, looking in occasionally on this scene, in both in this game and in other games, Oceania is oftentimes run by Australia, and, you know, I get that it's a bigger country than New Zealand, but it's awesome that New Zealand here with Boy is in winners finals. Like, that is really cool. And it's awesome that in losers side, Pax on Pax, the other New Zealand representative, is still in. The top 4 is actually half New Zealand and half Australia. So shout outs to players from both countries, really doing a great job tonight. That's you love to see that.
Again, the region is shaping up to be a very strong region. And then, you know, kind of also volatile in a sense, right? People kind of upsetting some of the seeds that were set out to be. And it's just really awesome to, once again, go back and really find that players have just gotten the love and the tech behind Mortal Kombat 1. I personally feel that with Mortal Kombat 1, it's such a unique game because there's so many intricacies and so many different techs within the game that there's still so much left to discover as far as how synergy works with characters, how characters can also work with each other. And as a Mortal Kombat fan and also a fighting game fan, it's awesome to see. It's really great.
I super agree with you. The game is in an awesome state right now. If you're somebody who is watching this and hasn't played it in a little while, I really recommend checking it out. There's so much fun stuff. You talked about just how much is still being invented in this game. You know, many of my favorite games, historically fighting games, are versus style games, team style games, maybe is a better way to phrase it. Because the depth is just so deep. Like, you can always find something new in a game like this. People are still inventing new stuff in ancient versus games from the 1990s. Literally, there's still stuff coming out. And it could be the same way in this. I really think that the game is super, super deep. I do not at all think that we have approached what the potentiality is of some of these cameos. Can I get on my high horse a little bit about Tremor real fast? Yes, obviously Tremor, very, very good. Obviously great for pressure and offense and combos. Can we talk about Tremor in neutral? Why does nobody use him in footsies? What if you just had like a 20 frame low that went half screen in footsies that you could just do whenever and hit confirm out of it? That's amazing. He also has really, really good defensive capabilities. Yes, you could do, you know, aftershock up hit out of, or in pressure to make you safe. But you could also do it like, what if your character has a wake up that doesn't launch, but on hit, now you do get a launch? Like there is so much more to Tremor. And that's just, I like them a lot, that's why I'm talking about them, but that's how all of the cameos are. Like there's stuff in all of these to still find. Anyway, I can keep talking about this, but I really, really love the state of the game. I think it's really fun.
Me too. I'm more of a Farah girly though, and it's just because Farah is so fun to play. Like I love hitting people with back four into Farah low or Farah overhead. Sometimes I'll play some footsies and say, hey, here's a Farah on the bottom coming your way.
You say sometimes I'll play some footsies.
Sometimes, you know, sometimes you just you're at full screen and you're like, you know what? Let me just yeet Farah across on the floor and see how active those frames go. And sometimes you get hit by it and I get to eat, or rather you get to eat, better said, a 40% combo from Natara, the love of my life. But speaking of boss characters, I feel like it's also kind of a classic showdown here, as we got, of course, the Kung Lao and Shao. Now the question is, what are the cameos we're going with? And we're going to be going with Sonya and Sector Shao here in this situation.
Yep, makes sense. Couple of great picks. We did see the boy went over to Chameleon at the end of the last set, but it's been Sector mostly. Great pick for him, of course. The question is how well he's going to be able to chase down against the way that Kia Dynamo Law's been playing. It's this kind of distancy game, again, harassing with up Sector, but yeah, I mean, distance game, Sonya to start things off, yep, then going up with this guy, stabbing, and then hopping away. Like, yeah, okay, there it is, all encapsulated right there.
Oh, the Arbor! Once again, spending those bars and trying to utilize as much as possible. Ooh, the dash up and then the delay on the grab for FGC Boy. Has to kind of cover the missile, or cover the low with the missile, better said. But we're still getting hit with the string, and Sonya to catch up with the onion ring as well.
That's all. Classic style play, expecting this time the striker. Let's see the Ooh, you waited. Really tricky timing on the overhead.
Ooh, great patience there from FGC Boy. Again, boss character, 1100 health. You can take those throws quite often, even if they are 140 throws. exactly why here. Are we going for the sector missile?
Can you get over it? No, of course not.
But, oh no, that's actually using up the fatal blow.
Yeah, you're right. But, you know, I think he's okay with that to take the round. 14 on the clock, jeez. Two characters who can hit big time, but still kind of slow plays, trying to stay away. You can tell that style that Kia D-Law, that many Law players have at this point, is that distance he gains.
Ooh, using the armored launcher to actually get the knockdown that he said. Again. Missile to stop the pressure. It's on the other side, and there again goes for the meter to get the armor.
Low. Still there. Wow, okay. Evens it up. Kia D-Law stays in. Oh, I don't know what Boy did. Took that thing with his chest. Okay, alright. Very nice, very nice. The double missile to keep his opponent still, but then not enough block stun to keep him stuck.
Indeed, and I like that usage of armor too from Kia D-Law. And another set of armor, but we are out of that meter. Gotta build it back up.
Well, one of the benefits of the way that he plays is that he gets to build a lot of meter. He's throwing a lot of those hats.
Big pickup. That is actually a great confirm right as an answer.
Hey.
Was able to knock out the wake up, or rather the better said, the ambush off of the cameo.
Distance again, he waits this time. Sector, back. Oh, dude, the defense, the patience by Boy. And on the strength of that, ends up taking the game. As we were saying, it's not just about the offense for him. You can tell that it's also about the defense. And that was a great example of it right there.
Also challenging too. I feel like sometimes when we talk about challenges, we tend to think about it in the scope of offense, but truthfully, like in that instance, especially with the Kung Lao upper kick and then that recovery, technically speaking, we would have seen that moment for Kung Lao to kind of block in that second, but because again there's a lot of recovery, more than likely was trying to just wait for the autocorrect and then be on the other side. That challenge from FGC Boy, very well done, and that usually is a way to kind of say, you know what, I'm gonna take a risk here, and yes, I'm gonna be able to capitalize off of it, but this is a great way to stop you from trying to come through and pressure me and get through these armors, try to throw whatever Lao hats you're trying to throw after that recovery. So again, challenging as a form of a defense can be very beneficial, especially with a character like Shao.
Here comes Shao. Into the corner now. Got another one. Stay down. Talking to the axe or talking to Lao? I don't know, but okay, Lao with the wake up. Getting off buttons. Whew. Big plus frames, but nothing out of it. Again, Boy's defense comes to his rescue. Oh, that was chunky against Sonya and Lao, and then the low again. Boy, very much in control.
Fight.
Trying to go through the overhead off the string. The jump two, probably one of the best jump twos in the game. That's technically not Adinian, so that's also something to keep in mind.
I really like that Boy is so confident in his defense that he just sits there as Law gets Sonya fully charged. And then he blocks and he's like, well, you still gotta open me up, you know? And he has not been opened up almost at all. Here though, the overhead does work. Kia D-Law in pressure. Wake up, dash forward two. Big confirm.
Very, very big confirm. And we also have access to, of course, Axeless Shao. And this is so much damage. As you're just gonna get overhead. There's the missile. Keep it.
Backs off, cause he knew. Okay, all right, cause he knew because he was sure. He saw those 2 bars down there and he was like, I know what you're up to, fella. You're about to dump out this meter on me. So you can't do that. Whips. Boy knew it, and he jumped to surgically precisely the right spot to get the whiff punch. Gorgeous play. That is exactly the kind of read that you need to make if you're gonna make it into Final Combat. Right there. Right there. That was it.
That felt like the actual, you know, how you make it to the end of the arcade ladder and you're fighting against the boss. That felt like an actual fully, okay, I read you moment. Now you're gonna get fully punished. Enjoy this punish. Enjoy this dish of full punishes as we take it in 40, like around 41% that combo was. So this is crucial for Kia D Law. Again, you're in winners finals. You still have some opportunity in the event that you do go to losers, but you know, do you make this comeback happen to try to take it to game 5? I do want to say you may want to start playing around with your meter instead of just dumping it all out, because FGC Boy's got the read on you.
Yeah, I think that's really what it comes down to, that last sentence right there. He has the read. And it's, I mean, it's tough mentally to recover from the way that last round ended, to get read so hard. Boy again has the corner. Again, the mix-up works out, and now he is at match point to get in the grand finals on winner's side, putting himself in a great spot to be the qualifier from this region. Just instantly into it. Again!
There's the
Just
breaker.
consistently, he's right.
Yep. I'm actually really glad to see that Kia used that as a breaker opportunity instead of trying to dump out meter, but we are trying to call in that ambush, but because we got the ambush or the cameo and the combo, it's doing more damage, and this is one guess, and it's done because of the hit stun in less than 10-ish, about 10 to 15-ish seconds. FGC Boy said, you're done. Don't wake up ambush me. You're out of meter. It is all my turn. You deal with it.
Man, that was amazing play by Boy. Like, you could really see how strong he is. And again, not just the offense. The offense was the most important part of that game, right? Let's take a look back here at how things went. Look at this throughout the set. See what we look at here. But a lot of this was great offense, yes. But there was also just confidence in his defense. Was teching at the right moments, jumping back and getting the huge whiff punish at the end of, I think it was game 2. Doing a great job in those moments where there was a fully charged Sonya into mix-up to contend with. He blocked those out almost every single time. So again, yeah, here, look at this amazing read. Oh, love to see that kind of stuff. That was sick. And that's, if you're firing on all cylinders like that, I mean, good luck anybody else. This guy is killing it right now.
I loved it. I love the Shao gameplay, and that's FGC Boy right now on the grand finals stage for winner's side, looking super dominant all throughout. Once again, that Shao is cooking, very much so. And now we are heading to the losers semifinals. So technically, this is your top 4. FGC Boy knocking out Kia D Law, who's now waiting in losers finals. And who will face Kia D Law, whether it be Clockwork or Pax on Pax C? Now, Pax on Pax C's got a little bit of beef. Got a little bit of history there. Back from the winners semifinals, was knocked out by Kia D Law 3-1. So, is the redemption arc there, or will Clockwork continue to gatekeep with his socks up?
We'll see. We'll see how the socks go. See if you get some real socks action. Yeah, I mean, we have a couple of different options here in terms of character choice. I guess I'm hoping that it's the Ermac, just based on what we've seen so far out of Clockwork. I really like what we've seen there. We saw the Sector at first, didn't work out. And we saw him play Sector as well a couple of times in the qualifiers, but the Ermac seems really where the strength is. We'll see, though. And then, yeah, on the other side, Pax. The question is, who does he go to in this stage, right? We didn't see the match versus Vale, where he won 3-0. I'm not sure which character that was, but we do know that he's already played a few different characters today, and that he has even more up his sleeve as well.
Yeah, I think we talked about how that katana's been really strong in really crucial moments, and I feel that question of what character do we go with, you gotta be really careful about that in this stage of the game, especially if you're within top 4 range, as you are right now. It comes down to you're facing against Clockwork, right? How does Clockwork play, and what is the character that can help you deal with that playstyle? We're not talking about matchups, because I feel like at this point, and especially at this stage of the game, matchups on paper, that's out the window, right? Now, how do you have a character that can deal with a player like Clockwork, who's been on a really strong Ermac, been hard to chase down, great defensively. It's very hard to open up his defense and fully capitalize on offense. So what is that character that's going to get you to where you're going to be most successful to do that? And that's the question for both of them, because Clockwork also has different characters up his sleeve. And what you don't want to do is you don't want to be in going back and forth switching characters. I personally feel that when it comes to switching characters, especially with that adaptation and players constantly adapting, you're making it harder for yourself, where if you commit to a character, it'll be a little bit easier for you to actually see the scope and see what those tools are to deal with that player.
I'm with you though, at the root of it, that really what things come down to is the human matchup. You're playing against a human being, ultimately. And the character is like the expression of how that happens. Like you're playing through your character, kind of. But ultimately, you're playing against another person. So what is it that the person doesn't like is a really, really big question. See what they think the answer is. I'm really happy to see the Asha.
Me too. Me too.
The way that he's playing, and by the way, Young Monster as well also qualified for the NA finals with Asha, largely with Asha.
How did Jared lose control?
When the game was newer, Astra players were in heaven mode mostly, and they were doing forward twos and stuff, and it's pretty good, you know? But the way that they're now going into hell mode and doing effectively what is a command dash all over the place. Like that, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's so sick.
It's so awesome.
And a lot of the stuff is actually plus. Like her big buttons into that are plus on block, which it is actually her turn after.
I'm so happy too that with the latest buffs that they gave her, she can switch back and forth, and it's so nice to see, like, this is the character that represents how light and darkness can just work together. By the way, can we talk about how Movado's been able to help pick up so many single hits and allowing Pax on Paxi to just be able to float like a butterfly all over the screen? But not this time. You're getting Janet. Eat this, hopefully 60%, if not 40% for sure.
Yeah, like it's already good, you know? Okay, you dropped it and it was 463 damage. Pretty good. Like, you can't be too upset. Movado tried it. Plus range there. Ooh, did he punish? Is he there in time? That's right. Okay.
Oh, this
Yeah,
hurts.
big wind
This
up on
might
that.
kill,
approach.
actually.
Oh, yeah.
Because 950 health, plus on top of that Janet's pen hurts, yeah, you're dead.
Fade out.
Round two.
Okay.
Fight.
Clockwork. Socks on. Here comes hell mode. That's, oh my god, that's so cool. That's so sick.
I won't lie, this might make me play Asha and Movado a little bit more than before.
Like, I honestly I haven't thought about playing this character at all. Not on my radar to play, though. The whole, whatever this game has been out, year and a half, 2 years. But seeing, like, this last weekend, people playing her in this kind of, like, hell mode way, it's super sick.
This is a great pickup here for Clockwork to get a safe jump. Backing up just a little bit. I like that Pax on Paxi kind of said, you know what, let me not press the button here. Again, Clockwork's been notorious for the chase down. Ooh, that jumping could have been very ugly for Pax on Paxi.
Turn. Still there. Back and forth. Clockwork waking up with forward dash. And he holds on to all three bars. Very interesting. So, tied up in game one.
Fight.
You don't know when she's going to let that thing rip.
That overhead too, great way to keep kind of like be able to just take a big button and be able to kind of keep your opponent very much aware. You can get caught on it and you can be able to confirm off of it. So great spacing right there. There you go. And that's gonna force the breaker from Clockwork. Ooh, the armor from the Dark Stance. There we go. That's one stock.
Party. Oh boy. Really good pairing to have Movado in that situation, because otherwise there wouldn't be a lot of damage out of it. And turn it into a lot. Oh, what a huge stolen turn. Dude, that is the sickest feeling to get that big kind of stolen turn right there.
For your sacrifice.
Just staring at him with the teleport into cancel into button again. Like, oh. It's my favorite thing in fighting games is to steal turns like that. Like, that's the funnest thing.
She's so
Blowing
fun.
up somebody. It really does look fun, I gotta say.
I feel like in that last match, well, better said, we got to see the cash out when it came to the dark stocks, right? That were on in that moment for Clockwork, because again, it does more damage. So she's able to get a multiplier for her, and we got the new Ashra skin as well, the Conan
It's
Ashra
super
skin.
cool. Yeah, absolutely. One of my favorite outfits. For sure.
Do you see the change to Sector? This will be interesting because I'm curious how this is gonna keep in check packs on pack C. Especially because we've been seeing such great, like, again, float like a butterfly, you're in and out. Here, right, once more, you're now in a place where you're able to whip punish. You're just going all over the screen. How are you gonna catch him?
Oh, wakes up with it. Well, Clockwork did catch her. Sets up distance? No, he sets up pressure. Right, using more of the straight rocket. Knock her down. No Movado call. Movado! That would have been big business.
Even though we are in that Fatal Blow territory, again, right here, that can go straight into Fatal Blow, I think. No, we're actually going to go for the reset. We're going to reserve ourselves for the Fatal Blow and actually just get the grab after that reset. Very nice.
The threat of that is so big, it's caused Clockwork to not shoot some of the projectiles that I think he otherwise would have wanted to. Yeah, this moment right here. Right through! Exactly. Double jumps it. Himself, at least on a mix-up there. Right. The only problem with that is if you go into teleport, you're not going to get into big damage unless you have a Movado call.
Most definitely. I believe right now, seems to be that something might have happened here during the match, but it's all good. We'll be catching up right now and see what happened in there. But let's kind of talk a little bit more again about those straight rockets like you mentioned. Yeah. Going through the screen, and yet Ashra can just phase right through. It's literally anyone's game in terms of just being able to go through those projectiles and just have free form all around it after you're out of that dash through.
I mean, you're taking a risk, right? If the opponent doesn't throw a projectile and you do the teleport through, you can be punished. So, I mean, it's not a perfect solution, but I do really like that as an option. It's an option that not many characters have in that kind of situation. Yeah, I really like what she's doing, or what players are doing with her. It does seem really fun. On the other side, I'm not really sure where the character choice is to go now. We've seen that Ermac didn't work out. We see that the way that she has options to counter some of what Sector wants to do maybe makes that difficult too. I'm not sure what the answer is. I'm not sure either who, I guess, ended up winning that game. It may have been that didn't drop for them. It may have just been for us. We'll find that out shortly, I suppose. But yeah, I really like so far what we're seeing from Pax on Pax and Ashra.
Most definitely. I'm so glad you mentioned about the character picks, because that goes back to what I was mentioning before. No matter what character you're choosing, if you are in this top 4 and you are just kind of doing a character roulette to see what works, you're clouding your mind. You're clouding your judgment in those situations, right? You got to remember, at this point, you're playing the human. You got to figure out what are their patterns. Got to figure out what exactly is the tools that they're and how they're utilizing that. You said it perfectly. It's a human utilizing the tools. How do you get over the fact that you don't like them using those tools? And how can you go ahead and prevent it with the knowledge that you have, right? So we kind of saw that with Sector. There was a little bit of like, hey, I have these projectiles that can stop you with that air movement. But as we saw with Pax on Pax C, oh, it's a risk, but it's not a very high risk for me. Let me keep doing what I'm doing. How does Clockwork able to actually change that up and be able to contest with that?
That said, it is 1-1.
Oh,
Clockwork
it is.
and did take that game. It turns out we're getting word, and it was only the spectator that dropped. So that's cool. Happy to hear that. 1-1. Yeah, I mean, I would of course love to have seen how that ended up going, but I guess that means that there's no character decision to be made. You're Clockwork. You are obligated to go back in there with Sector. But I really hope that there's still going to be Asher on the other side.
Me
Again,
too.
we know that Pax has her Lime, Melina, Katana, yada yada. But just as a like selfish decision, I would love to see more Asher. She does look really fun.
Now,
And
I did
on top of that,
see-
he looks good, really good with her.
I did see some notes where potentially the Melina could come out here. What are your thoughts on how Melina contests with Sector?
I mean, you're taking bigger risks, I suppose. You could do ball roll and the like under there. Depends on what your cameo is to try to make you safe or not. Right, big decision, big aspect of that. But no, I think that the choice of the same character makes a lot of sense, personally. Not just that I think that she's fun to play, but I do think that that movement that she has, Asher has, to get things through is very effective in a match like that, and makes it difficult for Sector. The cool thing about Sector is that it's not, you don't need to only pew pew from the other side of the screen. She does have other stuff that you can do. She has a mix-up. She got an overhead. It's pretty, it exists, you know. Sometimes people get hit.
She has a slide.
She does definitely have a slide. She's got a lot of tricky stuff. You know, she's got some good normals. So it's not just about the zoning from the other side. It's really good, but if you can't do that, then there's other stuff that you can do, and I'm sure that is what happened in terms of how Clockwork got that W.
I was just thinking about her anti-air special. I'm like thinking that grounded missiles that kind of shoots up in a vertical direction. I'm wondering if that was kind of what was helping out Clockwork in that instance, because if you think about it, the way that phase works, and if you're, especially if you're doing like the back forward 2 and it's fully committed in the air, hey, that's an easy anti-air that you can just convert off of, and we saw Clockwork do that often. So maybe that's a key factor right there that could help out. So I'm excited to see. We are sticking with the Ashura.
Yep, I think it's a good call.
The linear
Fun
phase
call,
course
but also
can
like
still
strategically
be
a good call.
changed.
Yeah,
We are
agreed.
far beyond the point of no return.
So we'll see. I mean, I'm sure we'll see in this set what it was that Clockwork did to end up getting the W before. He'll be trying to do the same thing, of course. It is more ground. You can already tell. Okay, not exclusively. As soon as he went to the sky to try to throw the sky rockets, that's when he got caught. So maybe something to keep in mind.
Oh my
Yo,
goodness.
really?
Nice.
Man, you can't even charge up the Sonya. Axe moving. Yo, dude. That's cool.
You are trying to get a little bit of that hell wave on the bottom. See if you catch those toes, but hasn't been successful. Pack some Pack B. Not trying to overextend. There's the forward 2. Oh,
We haven't
pick
really
up.
seen too many mixers.
The breaker was used from Clockwork, so now that's meter gone. Okay,
Okay,
block the
key
overhead.
block, yes. Plus. Saw such a frozen opponent that he went in for the grab. And it's not enough, actually. Oh!
How many must I purify?
I was very scared that wasn't actually a punish. And we're also ducking forward 2 now. So those are 2 things that we gotta watch out here for Pack Some Pack B. As Clockwork's definitely adapting and trying to say, okay, you're throwing out a lot of forward 2s. Let me go ahead and duck that. I'm gonna whip punish you for that.
Yeah, she's there for a long time. If you end up making that whiff, you really can easily whip punish her. Okay, get it, yes! Big opportunity. Pack's holding onto the bar. Really buttons on wake up!
Love that. Oh my gosh.
Yo! Overhead, no cancel? Wow.
blocks. Tries to go for the overhead. There's a punish. That's an answer right there for the back forward too.
Yeah, if you think that the opponent is gonna hold on to it and then cancel it, they're vulnerable that entire time. Just hoping that you're not gonna press a button. Clockwork press the right button at the right time. Not just zoning from the sky. You can see he's really changed it up.
Wow,
Okay,
what a
talk about a
move.
cash out. Yeah.
I love looks like that sometimes. It is quite a bit of a cash out, like you said, but hey, it works. The back three didn't quite reach, but we do have this Lamado to slide it down low. Again, the hell dash. Woo! Overhead! Doesn't confirm, but we got the down one.
That was a great block too. Funky timing on it. And yet was ready. Ring. Setting up plus ramp. Clockwork needs to make a comeback here. On fire. That was so close to working! And he's not gonna build the breaker in time. Wow. That was super close. They both swung. If but for a few frames, I think the Clockwork may have been able to take it. Still breaker on the other side to think about, but sometimes it comes down to single interactions like that. Very close situation.
I really enjoyed the reactions, the challenges. Again, usually when a player is summoning Sonya and going for her rings, they try to charge it up and it's like a fear because you're like, okay, I'm gonna get hit by this and this could lead to a lot of pressure, this could lead to many different things. But Paxum Paxi says, no, you're not gonna get that. You're not gonna try to get your slide in thanks to the confirm from the ring. You're not gonna be able to apply pressure. You're gonna stay there. You're not gonna even get a chance to charge it.
Proper block. Expecting the ring to come. Yeah, man, I really like that that converts in this situation. Backboard too. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to get very much damage out of it. It would be very scary, but that really does make it. Not only does it make the damage happen, but it also makes you as the defender just scared of the whole situation. You wouldn't be otherwise.
Gotta be careful with these stocks. One stock, it has already been recovered. There's gonna be some damage here for Clockwork to take advantage of, setting up the missiles, and then going back on full screen. Both health about just even now. Pax on Paxi getting access to favorable.
Trying to be patient. Oh, bricks. That was so far. And then was that a little micro duck or was too far on the grab? I don't know. But grab for Clockwork resets the situation. Wow, that's defense right there. Okay, all right. Looking for Movado to come running out, and then you got the rocket ready.
On some of those throws. It was an interesting approach and was gonna get punished for it, but again has a breaker to use. I do like when we're using breaker a little bit earlier on, especially at the beginning of those rounds, because you do have an opportunity to build that up again, so that again closer to that 30% range. If you have those 3 bars, it can work out for you in your favor. So, Pax on Pax. Whoa!
That was at the tip of the flame. Yeah.
Yes! Just on that tip right there.
Flamethrower footsies. Okay, okay. Clockwork. Socks on. Pressure. And the blocks coming out now. Okay. Gotta break. No, maybe intentional drop even. Right, dude. Awesome play by Clockwork right there. Not giving the breaker a chance. Knowing that chip damage was gonna chunk that stuff away anyway, that meter down there.
I wonder
Very nice work.
if in that instance, Pax on Paxi was trying to prefer a chip out situation versus a full breaker situation that would have just led to full screen, and then you kind of now are dealing with projectiles, and even if you block, it's already game over for you. So I'm wondering if that was maybe the choice there that happened, so that way, again, we're not back on that full screen. Because it kind of happens, right? Especially when you're dealing with zoning characters, where are they strongest at? Full screen. When you do breaker, it's a reset neutral, you're at a full screen range. You just gave that opportunity for the projectile user. So could have been there, but again, we're in game 5 for our loser semifinals, and Pax on Paxi is sticking with the Astra all the way and really trying to make something happen, make some magic work here.
Ooh. Okay. Didn't put any armor on it. Grab it again. There have been a lot of situations like that. Minus frames for Pax, and then Clockwork goes for grab. Something he's going to need to be cognizant of. Oh
Punish.
no! What?
But whiffed on that was probably too far out on the teleport.
Yeah, did he not hold down? I don't know. Oh, wow. Okay. Really unfortunate drop into really great pressure by Clockwork. Ends up putting him at match point. It's not just that the opponent drops. You got to take advantage of it yourself. He surely did that. Still in, dude. This is about pressure. So cautious. That's why.
Yep, the Oki able to just kind of back up and be able to fully get the projectile. Tries to get that back 3, but it is a bit of a slow button despite being a really good low for Astra. Overhead, but not catching, and there is
got 3
a
bars,
punish.
okay. You can take a risk. Pax holding on his meter. Oh!
Oh no!
Runs into it. He escapes to the other side. Now he needs at least one more. Clockwork being safe slowly with a rocket right to the face is gonna do it as Clockwork ends up doing this. We were talking about this as Sector can't handle what Astra's got. No, not at all. I really liked what we saw from Clockwork as things went on. It wasn't just about the distance game, the rockets from the sky, the occasional ground rocket. It wasn't so much what it was about. In fact, he got punished for that oftentimes. It was much more about that neutral gameplay into his own pressure, into his own offense, taking advantage when the opponent put himself at minus frames really, really well. It was more about that side of things as to why Clockwork moves on and moves into top 3.
And taking a look back at that replay, let's chat about how we started off with the Ermac and this fatal blow catching through Paxon Paxi, but again, Paxon was just ready for it, was able to just keep that Ermac in check. And this is where we kind of started seeing the back and forth again previously on that 1-to-1 match. And we saw a lot of challenges from Paxon Paxi that was just super solid. Gonna be able to have closed some of those rounds, but Clockwork was just working like Clockwork. Being able to really capitalize off of these moments where, again, you're in this full screen, but it's not just about how you're able to keep control of that neutral and that full screen. It's also about the fact that we were able to contest some of Astra's like overheads, actually get them punished. Some of those dashes were also punished, and just really making sure you're the one that's taking the risk coming close to me.
It was very, very well done, and Clockwork moves on. We're taking a look at the bracket here into the top 3. Boy waiting in grand finals on winner's side. Now we have losers finals, Kia De La versus Clockwork. Look, getting into top 3 is nice. Like, you gotta be, you gotta be happy. To get into the situation at all, I think you gotta be happy with yourself. But the only person who gets the reward is first place. And the reward is to make it into Final Kombat, where you have a chance to make a lot of money. $70,000 if you end up winning the whole thing. Even if you don't, even if you just show up, you get $1,000. So everybody who gets there gets something. But if you don't make it into that first place position in this tournament, there's no reward. So getting into second and third, cool. You know, you gotta be feeling cool, but that's not where anybody wants to end up. Not today, not in this tournament.
Nope, not at all. And again, as we get closer and closer to that grand finals where your opponent is FGC Boy with that Shao, you gotta take out each other. So Kia De La versus Clockwork right now is up. I believe we should be seeing the Kung Lao, and we might see Sonya. I think we at one point saw Sonya, but no, it's gonna be Sector, and then of course Sector with Sonya. So instead of having it reversed, you know, with the cameos, it's kind of like if you do ratios, you're able to see that. You know, I was trying to do a math joke, but it just didn't come out, so it's all good.
Sector Lao versus Lao Sector. It's probably happened.
DFD Law likes to use that quite a bit on with Sector, getting that uppercut, and it's so good because it's so fast. So unless you're blocking in neutral, you're gonna get punished quite a bit.
And it's safe from full screen. You're not gonna get punished for that. Don't do it up close unless you want to take the risk. But where he's doing it from, he's doing a smart spot. Uh-oh.
I like that delay wake up though. That was actually a great way to stop kind of that pickup. The ring!
I feel like Kia like understood what the setup was gonna be and was trying to navigate around it, but no, it didn't work. Assist to help out there. Okay, I mentioned how oftentimes when the opponent's in minus frames, Clockwork goes for the grab. Kia had made the same read right there, ducking.
I think that's like the first ambush attack this entire night that actually was successful on a knockdown. So hopefully Clockwork can make some magic here. It is quite a bit of touches. We are going to have to try to hit as much as possible. 2 points. Flawless block. But yep, the down 3 to take you out in that moment. Still, again, Clockwork trying to figure out how to bring it back here. But as Kia, we mentioned about Kia, spending all that meter, exhausting those meter tends to help out, especially with a character like Lao.
His own grab now. Playing with good mix-ups around the minus frames. Charges up. Oh boy, that might have been too late of a block if it had been a little bit closer. Charging up again. Yep. He had really good defense right there. He just was patient, looking for it. And he's right on these situations. These little minus frame situations have been huge for him. Yo,
Big
pick it up.
pickup.
No.
Oh no! And then the overhead, but no confirm right afterwards. But this one will confirm. This should be able to kill here as well, using all of that meter, and it does. Ooh.
Okay.
Our conflict is resolved.
Brutality.
That's a really sick win pose. I gotta
It
say.
is! I was just thinking that. You read my mind.
Look at that. Just hanging out. Leg to the side.
Exhausting rocket fuel. It's all good.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, maybe that part's not great, but it's cool looking. You gotta give her that.
It is. It really is. She's got. It's like the slay pose, you know, just kind of like slay. But no, that was really good there from Clockwork. I'm so glad to see that. As you see Clockwork being able to kind of take note of how he has been playing, just been able to adapt and fully clean up shop. Again, being optimal, had enough meter to work with, didn't really have to worry about breaker. I will say this is something that, you know, with Kia, we are seeing a lot of missed opportunities. And again, even though been able to read on some of those negative frames and what Clockwork's been trying to do with it, he's been struggling to try to get pickups off of that. And if anything, it's been more of like paper cut hits than actual full-on optimal routes. Because right now you're seeing right here, Clockwork just gonna be able to get a full 30% right afterwards.
Yeah, I think that dive kick is a bit concerning. That's the dive kick of somebody who is getting a bit impatient in neutral.
Round 2. Fight.
Switch to Sonya. We said before, we've seen him play Sonya and it's worked out. Here, boy, yeah, it's tough to contend against rocket zoning in that way. Yeah, again knockdown.
Staying here full screen, there's no reason for Clockwork to extend. Now this is the time for Clockwork to kind of contest on like close up, but You don't have breaker to deal with, so you are going to deal with some of this damage. But compared to the routes that Clockwork has been going, with Kia's 27%, and that's more of just how Kung Lao is built and set out. But again, it's paper cuts, whereas Clockwork's just been able to optimize and fully capitalize and really be able to be in a comfortable position that you can go back to full screen on.
It's quite close in life, actually, all that said. Here comes Kia. Oh, man, big second turn. Clockwork with distance again. Back to this. Can he get out of the sky? No, not quite. Punish, yes! Kia, we talked a lot about Clockwork in that round, and Kia, I agree with you, it seemed like he was getting frustrated, but really cleaned it up at the end of that.
Super happy to see that that is the case, and we're seeing maybe a little bit more patience. We're trying to navigate around the obstacle course. Big pickup though for Clockwork to go ahead and set up missiles. And there's the cash out.
Pick up. Sweet. Bringing in a lot of different varieties. Charges it up. Here he goes. No. Denied right away. Clockwork. What a tech! It is super tough to tech when the opponent's zoning into dash grab like that. Everybody gets got by dash grab. Great work by Kia, still alive. Running out of life though. Gotta see more. Oh, may have been trying to flawless. He did get one flawless block in that last sequence, but it's kind of tough to time. When's it gonna blow up? Didn't quite get what he needed at that moment. So Clockwork goes up now, 2-0.
Do you feel that the Sonya pick helped in this situation? Because I personally feel that it might have been better to keep with the sector and just have those sector missiles. But I'm curious what your thoughts are on that cameo switch, if it was worth it or not here.
Yeah, I didn't think that that was a big change either way, I guess. It seems to me like the major thing going on right now is not so much about the cameos, but about the control that sector, point sector, has, and the impatience that we occasionally saw there from Kia. Now, in moments he was also patient. It's not like he's being completely impatient, but there were moments in there where he overextended. That may have been one as well, that I think are a bit concerning for the long-term success here.
I agree with you 100% on that. And again, it comes down to you're back on this full screen. You gotta play Clockwork's game. The question is, do you have the patience for that? Are you able to get the movement in? The up block on Sonya, okay. But it was fully
committed.
Punished. It's still safe. The up block, even the up blocking Sonya, it just removes the pushback. It's still a safe cameo overhead.
Ooh, ducked. Clockwork out of that right away. Back to the wall, 72 degrees. Yeah. And now this is great for him too, starting out with corner control. The bulk of the work is already done. Ooh, finally staggers. Clockwork trying to be fancy.
Huge opportunity to take control of corner. Oh, interesting. Going for the full string this time around.
Yeah, again, exactly where he needs to be. Corner pressure first. Was patient. Hey. Clockwork. Again, man, a lot of little staggers right here, yes. You know, even on block, I think he's happy with that. Gets the big pushback.
A lot of spacing right now. Trying to figure out how to open up each other. I think Clockwork's just satisfied to get as little bit of hits here and there and then set up, so that can be grounded low and safe.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, you can't break that! You gotta hold that!
That was sick, Kia! Okay. Using the unbreakable tool of down two into jump cancel. Man, you love to see that stuff, so staying alive. At 500 plus with this combo here is Kia D-Law. Really good awareness in a moment like that.
We're
Close
on
to being
the
sent out of
board.
the tournament, but he was ready. Yeah.
We're on the board, and very good from Kia there. I love that down two so much. I'm so happy to see more players actually utilize it and be like, okay, you have full bar. Let's not have you do that. Let's not deal with that. So I'm just super glad to see that as this game progresses, more players have been utilizing that. It's been a really great opportunity, and again, that's exactly why it's kind of like your last resort card. Oh, wait a minute, you're trying to break. Nah, I got my down 2. Gonna be able to hit confirm off of it too.
Yeah, you just get to do it, right? You just get to input it, and if you get it on counter hit or something, and you get to pop up into the sky. Pretty sweet. 2-1. Uh-oh. Kia to see in this moment. We got Clockwork with the knockdown with the zoning set up already. Chip damage, meter building. Oh, huge opportunity. Kind of weird to pick it up though.
Kia has a lot of resources as well, so this could be ample opportunity and can really just apply pressure without a worry. Clockwork doesn't want to let this game or these rounds go through though, so you might have to be a bit more defensive, especially as we get closer. And that's going to be the breaker already used on Clockwork's side.
Gets to get a little bit of Rocket Oki. Other side. Really? Oh, okay, but it didn't come in. He's gonna build 3. What? Oh, he did on that hit. Oh, wow. That hit is what gave him 3 bars for the break. Okay, he's staying alive in this thing.
Okay, that's it. Right there, Clockwork on potential set point. Even though that Fatal Blow had given the breaker, that means Kia's going into this next round with only about a bar now, able to come back. And still very much limited on resources. Going to choose to spend it to cash out and get some damage to at least get the lead. And a very significant lead too, by the way.
Yeah, it's a good start. Low whiff punish. Grab. Big whiff into grab. Man, that's guts. Back off. No, never mind. Sonya. And that's the round? Yes! Kia still in this thing. Every time I think he's starting to get too impatient, he just really cleans it up and he plays great.
Getting a hit confirmed from the overhead.
Hey, an opportunity to get Sonya. Uh-oh. Awesome block. Kia still here. Just wait about wake up. Nothing came. No buttons there either. This has been such a poke battle.
Keeping it safe on that ground. And again, we're going for more of those like projectile hard reads with the meat and spending meter on it too. But again, you gotta be really careful with that because Kia has a movement, and all it takes is that one jump in, and it's kind of scary.
Is he there?
Oh, there it goes.
No. Uh-oh. Individual hits though, as Lau maybe adds up here. An overhead, a low. Just close to doing it.
Ooh, and there goes the spin. We're going to game 5 in what was very much a striking difference as Kia D-Law was on that lower side, going 0-2 in those matches, but making this comeback with adjusted patience and utilizing more Sonya to keep things safe.
Yeah, you're right. In fact, a big part of that game was not necessarily his approach. It was him jumping back over rockets and getting his own hat to get the knockdowns. It was jump kick at max range where it's like hard to confirm and you just do the hat to get some damage and then charge up Sonya into the approach. It was very much about starting things off from neutral and from distance. He did a great job with that. So now into this last game, one of them moves into grand finals to play against FGC Boy, sitting pretty up there in winner's side. Starting it off. Okay, great work from Clockwork. Offense begins. Zoning on deck, but no, yeah, I mean, again, there are tools here for Lau in this kind of situation. Yeah, again.
We're going back onto some projectiles. I feel like that Kia's been trying to get a little bit closer on a more grounded approach, but Clockwork has just picked up back on the so.
Trade like that is not going to cut it right now. He needs more. Can you get underneath? No, he had the idea, not the range.
for the double low, and there is the 140 throw. But again,
on the approach. Oh man. Right on top of it, the huge ring as it grows, and it was not big enough to reach up to this guy. Match. Double Sonya called.
Yeah, just gonna stay alive in this round, so I like that there's corner pressure. And now we're keeping Clockwork a little bit closer. There's the punish again. That has been like the 4th time Clockwork has gone on to do that specific string and has been punished each time for it.
Yeah, I'm surprised that we don't see air dash out of that. Good knockdown. Clockwork down in life. Now it's a situation where him trading is not going to be what he needs. He needs something else. Yes, up close. Ooh, Sonya! She whiffs. Block on the overhead as well. Okay. Okay! Living with what?
Oh no.
Oh, yeah, what are you gonna do? Right, 0.19 health, and there it is. Match point now for both to get in the grand finals. One of them still can be alive to qualify for Final Combat. Up block, nothing there. Chance!
Right here. This is exactly what Clockwork needed. Sending up the missiles and the Sonya rings. He's looking very dire.
Okay.
There's the armor. Sonya picks up. Clockwork still has a bar to work, or rather 3 bars to work with. There's the armor.
Individual hits adding up.
Cash out.
Adding up.
Overhead.
Yes,
Yep.
instantly.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Absolutely right. Out of there. Can he pick this one up? No! Huge opportunity. Kia. If he finds anything here. What? Spin to win! Kia D-Law into grand finals.
Kung Lao wins.
Man, what a choice at the very end. Big spinner. Man. Kia D-Law moving forward, Clockwork, socks off, socks askew everywhere all over the room at this point. Kia moving on 3 games to 2.
That was such a crazy read to go for a spin to win like that, but that's how potent that move can be. Mind you, exhausting almost all the resources possible to get it done, and what an incredible call out there for Kia. Again, Clockwork not being a very easy competitor to be with, right? And the fact that at the very beginning was up 2-0, but the reverse 3-0 still happened, and it was just a back and forth on rounds where Kia was just ready. He was just simply ready. So checking out the replays, looking back, and again, you know, we started off with Clockwork just being so dominant, picking up so many of those onion rings, as well as just strictly the air movement. Everything was just in play there for Clockwork, but you know, going back into that projectile zoning and seeing the impatience that Kia had, there's that adaptability, but this down to unbreakable to then go for fatal right afterwards. And then again, you know, connecting the Sonya, being able to cash out with Sonya too is also something that was very nice to see. And that spin to win being such a crucial component to be able to seal both round closers, ending the round the same way from game 4 and game 5.
I don't know that that had happened before in the whole set. That situation where Sector goes up into the sky, does the double jump, then does the air teleport. I don't think so. So shoutouts to Kia for knowing exactly what was coming up despite not having seen that in that set. That's some great awareness by Kia D-Law. All right, grand finals coming up now. We have FGC Boy ready to go.
Indeed, indeed. I feel like FGC Boy can take it. I feel like he's been dominant throughout this entire bracket. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, double checking here, but yeah, FGC Boy took Kia D-Law in winners finals 3-0 in a very strong dominant 3-0. This was Sector and Shao, and this was very like Kia could not. If you thought Kia was getting impatient with the zoning, was definitely getting impatient with the guesses between the low, the overhead as well in that match.
Yeah, I mean, Boy just looks extremely prepared. I remember during the qualification, the commentators there, I think it was my mic, was saying that Boy is considered one of the best 2 players in the region, and but you can see it, how well he's playing. It's gonna take a lot for Kia. We have to see differences in his offense. We have to see differences in his defense. I think it's possible because the way that he was playing there against Clockwork showed a lot of adaptation, even within the set. They probably played before, I suppose, but even in that set, you could see how he changed. So in this one, I hope that he's been thinking about it. I want to see the different positions. I want to see the different spots of control. He had a really good game plan around the little poke, the little minus games versus Clockwork. Maybe that's something he can try to bring against Boy.
Flesh pits.
We'll see. A lot of potential as we come in here for grand finals. FGC Boy in winner's side, Kia D-Law in loser's side. One of them will make it into final combat, and we will see them IRL.
And it all starts here with grand finals, as we see Kia being the one to pick up quite a bit here. Again, FGC Boy with the General Shao in sector. That's 1100 health that you're going to have to whittle down. And there's the double rockets. We go for another grab, by the way. Had enough time, took note of the full hit advantage to be able to get another grab to keep the corner positioning.
Yep, big moment. Kia out of there. Stay down. See the axe float. Oh, it was about to come back too, man. What time? Axe back.
Yep, you do get axe back. Some of these rings do end up hitting. I like some of the spacing control from Kia, but health is about even. Now we finally put FGC Boy into Fatal Blow territory, and that's going to be a breaker. Now we've seen FGC Boy take the risk, but again, the string for the sweeps and the down 3, that's going to at least keep FGC Boy down. Kia D-Law up.
We saw that work out against Clockwork, as I was mentioning. This little poke game has been successful. I'm happy to see that here. Axe down. Missile not going to be back for a little while. It's Kia D-Law's turn if he wants it. Yes. Okay. Back into the corner and back into pressure. Very light. Go there. Pick it up. Okay, nice.
I love when down ones get to be picked up like that. That means that you have ample opportunity. Keeps the pressure going. FGC Boy, this is your one chance to see if you can go ahead and make up for that lost round. Oh, the guess
Wow,
was
that was a
correct.
sick block. Okay, I don't know that he had too many blocks that were like that in the whole set that they've played before, right? Like, that was the correct block right at the start by Kia D-Law. Former champion of table tennis and current best table tennis player in Tasmania versus the 3rd place strongest man in New Zealand competitor in this. Oh, is this a fighting game tournament, or do you have to be a pro athlete to be in this thing? This is actually super sick that these are the 2 players who ended up in grand finals.
It's
2
awesome.
players who have a lot of experience in competitions outside of fighting games as well.
Night market.
Definitely mental fortitude and everything. I love that we are seeing Kia keep up the momentum from Clockwork's match. And that's something that's crucial because, again, you want to maintain that pacing and you want to maintain that momentum so that you can be able to take away FGC Boy's stamina. Because, again, Kia has to win 6 games, 3 to reset the bracket, and 3 to take the full-on tournament. So you gotta keep up that momentum and aggression. You cannot let FGC Boy even take a minute to themselves.
Doing a good job of it so far. Moving away. Yeah, just denying opportunities for FGC Boy to mount an effective offense. And even when Boy has had that, Kia's blocked well. Oh, he's in suddenly, spends it, and again! All 3 bars gone. back to the other side where he can build more meter, where he can build more mass. Corner comes though.
See? The missile was a little too slow though to get the bounce. There's the low! This is huge for FGC Boy. Keeping the axe down. Overhead gets blocked though. Trying to bring up another missile, but again,
He hit the missile.
yeah, he did. And there's
Hey.
the missile right back from the fatal blow, and FGC Boy said, nah. You took one missile out, here's another. Won't be enough to kill. So
yeah.
this one guess, but
Okay,
there's the
okay.
overhead right after.
Round 2. Fight.
Great startup on the fatal blow for using Sector's missile on that, but does scale quite a little bit. Doesn't get a lot of damage out the first hit as compared to some other fatals from cameos.
I really like the navigation right there. Pick it up. Maybe. Maybe. Oh man, that was cool though. Hey, his own mix-up's working. Yes.
And
Yeah.
we're gonna see
Oh,
the
you gotta
double
hang out, though.
rockets. Oh! And we actually whipped on the ambush overhead, but again, not enough to get a range from the jump 2 to pick up.
He just wants to chip. Okay, he's right.
Have you trained for this?
Final
Well, we're
round.
starting in the corner.
Fight.
Boy threatening quickly. That's what I'm talking about. The ability to move forward under that missile has been huge so far. Great block. Okay.
Kia D-Law has been able to guess consistently, especially with even missiles out. So this has been really great anticipation that Kia's been taking advantage of. The down 2 gets fully whipped, punished as well.
He was really there for a while. Yeah. Oh man, he didn't leave it. He gets to back off. Hits Sector. Sector's gonna be gone for a little while. Back to building meter. Even if those paths don't hit, you're still building meter. Woo! Stabs, okay boy. Moving relentlessly forward. That big mountain slowly tumbling down. Into the corner.
Not close enough to get a punish after the recovery from the Lao hat. Oh, very
Safety.
interesting up block.
Yo!
Yo! Double the up blocks! Very nice.
He's really bringing it all out. Like the things that were causing him so much havoc in the first set that they played in winners finals when it was 3-0 for Boy over Kia just are totally different now. It's Kia with, sometimes it comes down to this, with the correct guessing in the mix-ups, in his own defense, in his own offense. That's a huge part of it. But on top of that, it's his game plan of building meter far away, stabbing in, okay, doesn't work out, back off, build more meter. He's got a lot of bar to do things like the armor into, say, follow-up into the spin after that. He's just got a lot of bar to work with, the way that he's playing. It's been very effective. I really like how it's playing out for him right now. And 2-0 is pretty good against somebody who beat you 3-0 just half an hour ago.
Indeed. I like it. I really am enjoying how Kia's been adapting. I think that right now, what we're seeing here from FGC Boy is maybe taking the time. Has a lot of games to work with. Remember, again, it's all about stamina, right? So Kia has been able to keep the foot on that gas pedal, but gas is going to run out at some point. So it's important for Kia to maintain that foot on that pedal, but also for FGC Boy to see how much we can actually whittle down and take out Kia's stamina.
No EX follow-up on that. Oh, okay. Ooh, no Sun need to call though. He gets to back off. Now he's down in life, but he's got a lot of meter to make. He's got a long stage to get through. No, tried to swing it. Gonna pay for it big time. With the round even? Yeah.
Yep. That multiplier thinks that hitting the cameo,
Round 2.
it hurts so much.
Fight.
Up. And And I do want to see FGC Boy kind of have that menacing walk. We noticed it before and all throughout the games that FGC Boy was playing. This is the boss character, just walking up, ready to play the defense and walking menacing. But we have not been able to see that from FGC Boy until now. So I'm hoping we can keep that up as well. He gets hit by the liftoff, and then that is going to be able to get the overhead. Second overhead, putting for the hard knockdown though.
Oh, he still stood up there. Nice. Yeah, tried to convince him to crouch there. Confirm. But easy single hit confirm. Hey, Sonya!
Are we going? We're catching out with the fatal
Yeah, absolutely right. Can I see some mashes, please?
I was gonna say this. I think this just scales naturally. Okay, no, we are gonna be able to kill. That was a little scary. Sometimes Kun Lao's fatal blow, and you can kind of tell here because there's no flames around the number. Sometimes that fatal blow scares me because it doesn't kill. It doesn't always kill.
1100 health. Shao. His calls on second teleport cameo assist. Amazing. His success rate is incredible.
Ooh, there's the overhead.
Oh boy. The big man walking around. Yeah. Blocks it out, tries to take his turn. Here's boy. No.
Okay. This is big pickup here for Kia. Has to actually build up that leader. And FGC Boy should be able to kill and does so. Staying alive, preventing the bracket reset from happening just yet. Gonna be on that board. So even though we didn't get the revenge 3-0 this time around, FGC Boy is still here. Still saying, wait a minute. I figured it out. Let's take away your momentum. We're done with that. You got your power up. It's now my turn.
I like that you brought up his walking. He did feel more confident in his movement in that last game. Just had some great moments where he walked backwards with it, and that's a big part of what playing footsies in that way is about. It's not just about moving forward. Ultimately, you of course you want to, but it's the point of it. Sometimes you need to walk backwards to get a whiff punish, or to make the opponent scared of a whiff punish to let you in. And he did that stuff really well in that game.
Yeah, I was sensing that the first two games, it was like, playing a little too scared, a little too hesitant. Now I'm seeing the FGC Boy that we were seeing earlier on, which is this dominant, like, I don't care. I am Shao. I have the health, and I have the buttons, and the power, and the damage to do whatever I want in this situation.
6'7", dude. Pulling the truck.
Exactly. Strong man things. I also really like too that we're seeing more of those armored wake up moves too from FGC Boy. We're utilizing that as we're getting those charges for Sonya, and also too just in moments where Kia wants to apply some pressure and is trying to let out full strength.
Again, sometimes it just really comes down to whether you're guessing right. Right now, Boy is blocking really well. Too far in the whip punish. What a reaction by Boy. Okay. Very quick on the draw with that one.
Fight.
There we go, once again. And that's gonna lead into the Axeless Shao, so you're gonna get those plus frames. The up block on the missile, which actually, believe it or not, missile I believe is a mid, so you don't have to up block it. But it's just for the
Yeah. Very light in pressure. Guys, break, of course. Too close, that huge stand to the big axe. He's blocking. He paid an up block, didn't come. It's alright for Kia in the end. Man. Boy, just relentless and moving forward. Match point though, well not match point, set point for Kia to try to get the reset.
aggressive? Can you get to be slight staggers that have been catching FGC Boy off guard? There goes the uppercut from Sector, not going to come out this time around, so you just see that cooldown going through.
Grab. Distance though. Hoping to see a whiff winners. That's what I was talking about. That walk back. Okay, yes. Kia. Aware. Gets it. A little bit more. Boy's in trouble. Does have 3 bars. He needs 2 hits, maybe?
I would say 2. I would definitely say 2.
What a dash, and ready was Boy. Did he get got?
He did!
Yes, he did! Now he lives. Still, great reaction. Boy. To give himself the life lead by just a bit.
Oh my gosh, there's a breaker.
He's got to worry about setting it up. Down 1. Big low all of a sudden. Wow, 2-2 from Boy.
I'm like rocking back in my chair and I'm just kind of like really hype about that because you got conditioned, Kia.
Yes,
you got conditioned.
True.
You were up blocking so many times that you forgot that there was the most slowest projectile low in the game. And you got it done in front of your face. So FGC Boy says we're going to Game 5 for the grand finals to either stop the reset or head to final combat. It is all on these two right now as we're heading into this Game 5 game.
What a back and forth in this set.
Yes.
Every time I feel like one player's got the read on the other one strikes back. Sonya's too late.
Each match has been just so satisfying to see, and that missile is also just as satisfying.
Hey.
Gonna get the sweeps. There's the spin to win.
Blocks it right. Still his turn. Oh man, tried to steal a big one to Kia. No, it's Boy. Hold on though.
Yup.
And oh, there's some characters maybe you can get away, but that stand 2 is gonna be too fast for that. Here is match point, tournament point, final combat qualifying point for FGC Boy.
Round 2.
That is the second time that we got to see the FGC Boy do that. The first time was in the winners finals, and now it was here in this Game 5 that FGC Boy has been able to stop that recovery from the dive.
He read it. Oh, he read.
Ooh. Sonya was able to release the ring, so that did a little bit of hit advantage.
A really nice timing. Here for Kia. Grab. They have not worked out often, but this one does. There's that relentless movement. Forward. Double. You get to pick it up.
Okay.
Gets the corner out of this. Oh, it's dangerous. Kia's in big trouble. Got him!
That's gonna be
Boy!
1 bar. Break
He
is
needs
coming.
more.
Oh no! He used the bar! He used the bar on the wake up! That's a throw! And FGC Boy is heading to final combat, taking it 3-2 with the Brutal and qualifying in the Oceania Regional Finals with Xiao.
What a set. Again, that back and forth constant in that set. That was so cool. Man, hats off to this whole scene. That was a sick top 8. Everybody played great. There were close matches the whole way through. Some awesome 3-2s. How many 3-2s? We just had like 3 or 4 in a row. Yeah, that was awesome. Great work to everybody. Look at these results. FGC Boy, as you rightly say, qualifies into final combat. Looking forward to seeing that mountain of a man towering over all of the competitors out there. That's going to be so sick. I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, he does it. And I want to say this too. Every time that there's been somebody who qualifies out of the Oceania region into Mortal Kombat Pro Comp or the other Pro Tours that we have, it's been somebody from Australia. And this time, it's New Zealand. FGC Boy making it happen for his country there. That's super cool. He played great, obviously. His offense was killer. The defense was great. The neutral game was awesome throughout the whole thing. But yeah, I mean, hats off to him for this. You know, I was in the first qualifier where he qualified. The commentators were talking about, people in the chat, were talking about how he hadn't really been playing for a while, right? He kind of taken a year off to do this thing of getting third place in Strongman in New Zealand. It takes a lot of your time, I'm sure. And he had not been playing for a while. And he had really been training up in just the last couple weeks again. And they were like, yeah, you can tell, he's super good. And not only did it happen that he got second place that day, but he gets first place this day. Yes, that's somebody who definitely put in the time and looks awesome. I'm really excited to see that Shao in Final Kombat.
Me too. I'm super excited to see it. It was such a treat being able to just enjoy all of that. And Ultra David, it was such a treat to be able to commentate this regional finals with you. I am super honored, and thank you so much for joining me here. And of course, thank you to everyone here for enjoying the show. We hope that you enjoyed all of your matches, and you know, let us know on socials what was your favorite match of the night for sure. But Ultra David, any final words before we head off?
Hey, this is the end of today if you are in New Zealand or Australia, or tonight if you're in North America. But tomorrow, we got a lot more stuff. We have a lot of online regional qualifiers throughout the day. North America, Europe, we have a lot coming up. You will definitely want to watch what's going on tomorrow. So please tune in, come back, check it out on socials, NRS Esports. You can follow along and know exactly when things are going. Hey, we'll see you then. Thanks a lot to everybody for watching.
Your shapeshifting is so elegant, so refined.
It makes us more efficient killers.
Fight!
Have you seen John Connor?
John Connor? Dude, you've got Johnny Cage.
You're not a man. You're a machine.
A T-1000 advanced prototype, liquid metal.
Finish him. Fatality. T-1000 wins. Flawless victory.
Have you two been practicing my lessons?
As we can. The harvest leaves us little time for martial arts.
Since your first words, Kung Lao, you've mouthed nothing but excuses. If you fail to prepare,
Your preparations will fail.
Finish him. Flawless victory.
Hill got caught in the fatal blow, Zap! You're joking. Unbreak! That is going to be the end of Combo Breaker.